welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Back at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta as we get set for the Falcons and the Saints. Mike Smith has led the Falcons to the playoffs in 2 of his first 3 seasons. Falcons come in with a record of 5-3. They've won 3 in a row. And Sean Payton returns to the sidelines for the first time since October 16th in Tampa when he suffered the injuries, the broken tibia and torn MCL. Spent the last 3 games up in the coach's booth.
Yeah, and you can tell yesterday when we talked to him that he was very, very excited about getting down to the sideline. His projection was the game after the bye week, but surprised the team this morning saying, I'm going to be down there on the sideline with you. I think he was trying to justify some positives being up in the booth and seeing it from a new perspective, but you can tell he was out of his element. He wanted to be on the sideline if he could.
The Falcons have won the toss, so the Saints are now 0-10 on coin tosses so far this season. Thomas Morstead get things started, and we are underway in Atlanta as Eric Weems will take a knee. Matt Ryan leads the Falcons offense out onto the field. They will start from their own 20-yard line.
And again, we talked about it at the top, Kenny. It's important for Atlanta to come out and get Michael Turner established. Let that offensive line come off the ball. I think in the beginning of the season, there was so much excitement about what Julio Jones bought. Tony Gonzalez says he's the best rookie he's ever seen. He's got tremendous upside, but this offense was so efficient last year in that run-first style, very, very good at controlling the flow of the game, and I think they got away from it a little bit there in the beginning of the season.
Ryan looking to throw on first down, and the pass is high, intended for Turner. Falcons come in with the 14th ranked offense in the National Football League.
And there's Julio Jones right there, had a breakout game against the Colts last week, but it all revolves around Michael Turner. The Saints know that, and it's important for this offensive line to be able to start the game coming off the football, being physical. They're maulers. They're dirty, nasty guys up front. They'll fight you for 60 minutes.
Will Svitek starting at left tackle for the injured Sam Baker. The handoff to Michael Turner, and Turner picks up a first down, finally tackled after a gain of 14 by Malcolm Jenkins. And a late flag is thrown.
This Saints defense knows full well. You know, they watched the film going back to the beginning of the year.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 84, 15-yard penalty, first down, Atlanta.
Critical mistake by Roddy White right there. You get a big run on that play, and you're going to get a call back. But this defense, you know, watching the Falcons in the beginning of the year, they knew that that wasn't the team that they were used to seeing. They said over the last few weeks, they've gotten back to playing the style that they are accustomed to. Cameron Jordan, tremendous upside as a rookie. There's some shuffling here at the linebacker level. It'll be interesting to see how that happens. But this defense knows their #1 target to stop this afternoon is Michael Turner.
Saints without linebacker Jonathan Vilma for the second straight week. Following the penalty, Ryan hits the fullback Mike Cox. Takes it out to the 27-yard line. His first reception of the season, and Cox gains 8.
That's exactly what it's supposed to look like when you get a fullback running the ball, Darryl. Lowering the shoulder, getting lower than the next guy, and driving right through Jabari Greer right there. Bring back memories, Darryl?
It's a nice finish by Mike Cox. Tough to get low, too. That was a great job of getting his pad level down.
Cox starting for the injured Ovi Mihaly, who's out for the season. Now second down and 2. 3 tight ends in the game for the Falcons. The handoff to Turner, and Turner spins out to the 28-yard line, stopped a yard shy by Cedric Ellis. So the Falcons now facing 3rd down and 1.
And I think we're going to have the opportunity to see some different things from this Falcons offense built around Michael Turner. You saw right there, Kenny, that 3 tight end set. I think that Mike Smith has gained a lot of confidence in some of the players at this point in the season. I think Jaquiz Rogers could have a big role today as a change of pace guy to Michael Turner.
Turner in the backfield, 3rd down and 1 for the Falcons on their opening possession today. The toss to Turner. And Turner with a good second effort after the initial hit from Jonathan Casillas. It will depend on the spot. Remember, our yellow line is unofficial. And the Falcons do pick up the first, Goose.
An opportunity right here to make a stop in the hole. Jonathan Casillas has Michael Turner, but doesn't make the play.
The turf monster's out there. We saw the umpire just take a spill.
And the umpire, Paul King, now back up on his feet. First and 10 for the Falcons from the 29-yard line. Jason Snelling has joined Turner in the backfield. With Snelling leading the way, here's Turner. Out to the 33-yard line, gain of 4 on first down. Cameron Jordan and Roman Harper in on the tackle.
Hey, Darryl, you know what I really liked in this play? I like the way Matt Ryan comes to the line of scrimmage. He works the hard count and identifies what kind of defense they're going to get. Then they go with the run. Nice and easy. He's getting a lot of information early in the game by using that hard count.
Second and 6, off the fake to Turner. Ryan complete to Turner for another Falcons first down out to the 43-yard line. 10-yard pass play.
And here's one of those play designs where, hey, we're going to build a couple of shots down the field. We're going to call it. We have trust that Matt Ryan is going to make the right decision. Watch the wide receivers go down the field and stretch, but then you end up checking it down to Michael Turner in the flat. You can call these plays, they don't have to be thrown, but you have to respect that speed, so New Orleans defense is going to be backpedaling.
Here's Turner again. Falcons have run 8 plays. Michael Turner with 6 touches, 5 carries and a reception.
I just think it's the most important part at the start of this game. Really come out and establish it. Michael Turner really kind of feeds off the energy of the game. He plays better late in the game. How many times have we seen him with a huge run late in the second half of games to ice it for the Atlanta Falcons?
There it is again. See that right side coming.
Ryan making the adjustment. Second down and 6. And again, it's Turner up the middle into Saints territory. First down and more to the New Orleans 38. Turner gaining 15 yards.
And this is one of those plays where as a defense you're looking at personnel. Jason Snelling's in there. You don't think power running game. Matt Ryan checks into the play. Watch your fullback lead up on the isolation on Jonathan Casillas. Gets him out of the hole. A big run for Michael Turner. When Jason Snelling's in, you're thinking misdirection, screens, perimeter running game. You're not thinking power run.
Now Jaquiz Rogers replaces Turner in the backfield. Locked up behind Snelling. Off the play fake to Rogers. Ryan looking for Julio Jones, and there is a flag. Tracy Porter, injured last week, back in the lineup.
Interference. Defense number 22. Automatic first down.
Porter, pass interference, another first down for Atlanta.
I think with Julio Jones' athletic ability, Matt Ryan is gaining confidence that if it's one-on-one, I'm throwing it up. He's going to either go up and catch it, we're going to get a pass interference called, or he's not going to let the defensive player intercept that pass. There's a lot of trust being developed between Matt Ryan and Julio Jones.
Falcons gain 15 yards on the penalty. Rogers remains in the backfield. From the Saints 24, Jaquiz Rogers. Rogers takes it down to the 21-yard line, gain of 3 for the rookie 5th-round draft pick out of Oregon State, who stands 5'6".
But breakaway speed, I mean, a big play threat every time he touches the ball. Similar to Julio Jones, you get him in the backfield. Now, if you make one mistake with your gap responsibility, he's going to be gone. 10 carries last week, so obviously Jaquiz Rogers starting to get a bigger role in this offense.
Second down and 7. Jones split to the left, Roddy White to the right. Here's White, free play for the Falcons.
Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Great job by center Todd McClure. Sees Jolan Dunbar jump off sides. Watch, as soon as he sees that, he snaps the ball, knowing it's going to be a free play. Great job by Matt Ryan also. Can't lose on that one, Darryl.
Second down and 2 from the 16-yard line. Saints defense has struggled in the red zone this season.
That might be an understatement.
They've really struggled.
There we go.
On second and 2, here's Rodgers. And Rodgers is close to another Falcons first down. Jonathan Casillas, the tackle.
And you never really know why a situation like that arises when you look at your defense and, why are we struggling in the red zone? Why are we playing so poorly when in years past we've been very good at this? And, we talked to Greg Williams, we talked to Scott Shanley, and they said, it's not one thing. It's different elements of our defense every game. So they're trying to just, hey, when we get into the red zone, let's make sure everybody knows there's a heightened awareness of what they're doing. And they say it's more about their attitude than anything else. There's too many mistakes from week to week. They can't put their finger on what the one reason is.
Turner in the backfield. 2 tight ends set. Third down and 1. And Michael Turner picks up a Falcons first down to the 13-yard line.
This is just a methodical drive, Goose. They're just going right at Greg Williams' defense right now.
Yeah, they are. You know what? One thing that I'm seeing, the Saints defense, Matt Ryan's coming to the line of scrimmage. He's working the count, but they are not disguising what they're doing. They're giving away too much. They need to get a little bit more patience, line up, and get an idea of when they're going to snap the ball and then come. But they're showing their hand before the ball is snapped.
Falcons, Goose, have picked up 6 first downs on this drive. Play number 13 upcoming. 3 tight ends, first and 10 from the Saints' 13-yard line as Ryan overthrows Tony Gonzalez in the end zone.
Well, one thing you have to make sure you have accounted for when you're in the red zone, if you're a Saints defender, is Tony Gonzalez. A little wheel route here on the outside, sell that flat route. Good play by Jabari Greer. But Tony Gonzalez is definitely going to be one of the guys that Matt Ryan is looking for in this part of the field.
Falcons won the toss. They've controlled the ball for the first 7.5 minutes. This is their longest drive of the season. Play number 14. Second and 10. Ryan handing it off to Turner. He slips and then is taken down by Roman Harper.
He has had a really, really good season up to this point. Leads the Saints with 5.5 sacks. Great in tackles. There he is down in the line of scrimmage. Now, we always talk about kind of that 8th man, that safety in the box, but what Greg Williams has done is he's brought Roman Harper down, kind of kept him on the edge, not bringing him down into the middle of the field.
Now third down and 10, 3 wide receivers set. Harry Douglas in the slot. Falcons empty the backfield. Rodgers split out to the right. Movement, more flags.
False start. Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Left tackle, Will Svitek.
Well, we've been singing the Falcons' praises about this drive, but some mistakes right here. I mean, a little bit of a disappointment if all they're going to do is get 3 points after controlling the line of scrimmage and working as well as they have all the way down the field.
Second Falcons penalty of this drive. Now third down and 15. 4 wide receivers, Douglas in motion. Falcons must get to the 3 for a first down. Ryan dumps it off, and it's off the fingertips of Rodgers. So after 15 plays, the Falcons will send out the field goal unit.
Well, and it's a huge boost for the Saints defense too, Kenny, because you mentioned how much they have struggled in the red zone. So for the Falcons to come out and just move the ball methodically all the way down the field, but then when they get to the one area of the field where the Saints have struggled, they stand up and play some good defense.
So here's Matt Bryant, who has hit 28 consecutive field goals. Longest active streak in the NFL. He's 12 for 12 this year. 36-yard attempt from the right hash. Matt Bosch, the holder. Bryant from 36, just inside the right upright. So a 15-play drive, but the Falcons held to 3.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Greg Williams getting in touch with Jolon Dunbar right there. Now, Jonathan Vilma, who is the usual middle linebacker, kind of the quarterback on that defensive side of the ball, out of the lineup. So Greg Williams wanted to make sure he figures out, hey, what was going on at the beginning of that drive? They went right down the field on us.
An 8-minute, 40-second drive. Bosher's kickoff is taken 4 yards deep by Darren Sproles. He fakes the reverse to Courtney Roby, and Sproles is tripped up by Bosher. Darren Sproles has had an outstanding season. It sets up terrific field position for Drew Brees and the Saints. A 40-yard return by Sproles.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Back in Atlanta, 40-yard kickoff return by Darren Sproles. After the Falcons drove 8 minutes, 40 seconds, lead 3-0. Drew Brees, first quarterback in NFL history to pass for at least 3,000 yards over the first 9 games of the season. From the 35-yard line, Brees looking to throw on first down, and the pass is caught out at the 42-yard line by the tight end, David Thomas. Gain of 8.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, this Saints offense just got manhandled up front, and it's going to be critical that they control the line of scrimmage today against St. Louis. They gave up 6 sacks, rushed for just a little over 50 yards. Last week against Tampa Bay, almost 200 yards rushing and 0 sacks. That group up front did an excellent job. They're going to have to do that again this afternoon.
Second down and 2, Sproles in the backfield. He's the Saints' leading rusher this season. Brees going deep on second down. Pass intended for Lance Moore with Brent Grimes on the coverage.
Drew Brees trying to get a big play early here. In the pocket, taking a shot down the field to Lance Moore. That's their big play threat. Talked to Brent Grimes. He gave us a little insight into all the different receivers. And Lance Moore, not just a great route runner, but when they want to hit a big play, they usually dial up number 16.
4th down and 2. Brees fires, and the catch is made by Marcus Colston. Took a big hit from Curtis Lofton. Colston gains 9, and a Saints first down.
Well, just a nice job by both guys. Watch Marcus Colston at the top. He's coming on a slant. He knows he's going to take a good hit. And then the targeting by Curtis Lofton. He has an opportunity to take a hit that's going to get him a flag, but there's a guy who understands the rule changes in the NFL. You can still deliver a big legal hit.
From the Atlanta 48, off the play fake. Brees fires, and it is Colston again for another Saints first down at the Falcons 37.
Well, this Falcons defense wants to make New Orleans earn everything they get. They are very aware of the big play potential. They cannot allow one of those to happen. But Tony, this Saints offense also very good at moving down the field methodically.
Yeah, they are. They just played together for a while. They're doing a great job right now. Atlanta's rushing 4, but that offensive line is stopping number 5. So let's keep an eye on that.
First and 10 from the Falcons 38. First carry today for Pierre Thomas. He gains 5, and we head to L.A. for a game break. Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
Quick strike of the day goes the Houston Texans. First play from scrimmage. Matt Schaub to Jacoby Ford. 80 yards on the play. Texans take the lead 6-0. Jacoby Jones, takes a 6-0 lead because Albert Haynesworth blocked the extra point for Tampa. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Wow.
Hey, he made a play.
Albert Haynesworth, played by the Buccaneers on waivers earlier this week, blocks the extra point. That's Mark Ingram, his first carry today, the Heisman Trophy winner out of Alabama 2 years ago. Stephen Nicholas made the tackle, loss of 2 on the play.
It could be scary with Albert Haynesworth down in Tampa Bay. That defense fits his style much more. He is not a 3-4 guy, and that's where he's been stuck the last couple of teams he's been with.
Third down and 7 for the Saints. Saints Saints must get to the 28 for a first down. Breeze with time, he throws, and Jimmy Graham, third in the league in receptions coming into this game with 55 catches. Unable to come up with that one.
Drew Brees all the time in the world in the pocket. Just a shallow crossing route right here. You can see he snuck a peek a little bit. He could feel Brent Grimes coming in, got that head turned upfield before he had the ball secured.
I think he's happy he didn't catch that because Brent Grimes, I think, would have lit him up right there, Darryl.
So here's John Casey out to attempt a 52-yard field goal. NFL kickers this season, 74% from 50-plus. Casey, the oldest player in the National Football League, hits from 52 yards out. Tie this game at 3.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's, never stop improving. By Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And by Chase, don't get shortchanged. Get your cash back with Chase Freedom.
Saints take advantage of the long kick return. Drive downfield, and then John Casey hits a 52-yard field goal, tying this game at 3.
I mean, what do you do against the New Orleans Saints? You know, they got all these weapons offensively. They get down the field, you make a good stop, force a long field goal. You got John Casey kicking 52-yard field goals. You can't win.
Armstead kicks it off. Weems takes a knee. So the Falcons will start from their own 20. Two terrific quarterbacks, Matt Ryan, Drew Brees. Saints and Falcons tied at 3. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa back in Atlanta. Falcons and Saints tied at 3. Falcons drove 16 plays on their opening drive. Michael Turner with 49 yards.
That's the way it should be. That's the model for the Atlanta Falcons offense.
Setting up that play action pass.
Turner's 7th in the league in rushing. Falcons start from their own 20. The handoff to Turner. Not much, gains 1. Out to the 21-yard line, Tom Johnson made the tackle. Well, Mike Smith felt his Falcons, Darryl, were inconsistent in all 3 phases over their first 5 games. They started the season just 2-3.
Yeah, he felt that the team was a little bit tired. They had 2 Sunday night games. They had a West Coast trip. So going into the bye, he told his team, hey, if you guys win going into the bye, I'm going to give you the whole week off. We'll come back that following Monday, get back into it. Well, the players expected to come back Monday and be in shorts and shells, and he put them in full pads and went Falcons versus Falcons. There was no scripting. It was working on their things, and it really paid some big dividends.
Ryan hit as he threw. Pass intended for Julio Jones. 3rd down and 9 upcoming.
It was one of those things you talked about at the top, Tony, just getting your hands up, getting a deflection, trying to create that turnover.
Well, that's what you got to do as a defensive lineman. This offensive line's doing a great job of holding them up, but as a defensive lineman, you got to watch Matt Ryan's eyes like Cameron Jordan did and just get a piece of that ball. That's a huge play.
Falcons must get to the 30. Ryan to Jaquiz Rogers, and he will be tackled a yard shy by Ramon Humbert. So the Falcons, after a 16-play drive on their opening possession, go 3 and out.
This is not what they want, Darryl. They want to keep the ball out of Drew Brees' hands. They want long drives on offense. They want to slow him down on defense, but you do not want 3 and outs, because when Drew Brees has that ball, anything could happen.
Falcons had the ball for 8.5 minutes on their opening drive, but this time a 3 and out. Bosher waiting back at his 15-yard line. Darren Sproles back deep for the Saints. Sproles leads the league in all-purpose yards this season, averaging 166 per game. Penalty marker on the return.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 15. 10-yard penalty, first down, timeout.
Bucky Roby the guilty New Orleans Saint.
On the sideline, Sean standing here with his crutches, but he has the guys right here. See this big man right here? He's in charge of blocking if anything comes. Then you have this guy over here. He's going to block behind him. And then the real big guy, so he has a triple layer in case of any of the players come to that sideline. They got it all straightened out on that sideline now. Don't worry.
The screen to Pierre Thomas. Thomas gains just 2. Sean Weatherspoon made the tackle.
And you can see that Sean Payton is back off the line. You're wondering how much he's going to be able to see. He's got to be there for safety reasons. And let me tell you, here's the injury right here. And we've seen a couple of them this season. And it is a bad injury. He actually shared some of his x-rays with us yesterday. And it is substantial.
Ugly.
And you can just tell, though, Goose, even though he's down there, maybe his field of vision isn't as great as it used to be, I just felt like he just doesn't feel right upstairs in the booth. He's got to be on the sideline.
Balls bottled up by Jonathan Babineau. As time winds down in this opening quarter, Sean Payton had 7 screws inserted in his leg, underwent surgery, rehabilitation, told us he rode the exercise bike for the first time on Friday 2 days ago, but it was a different perspective from upstairs the last 3 games, so Payton back on the field here today in Atlanta. So at the end of 1, it's the Falcons and the Saints tied at 3. Back in Atlanta, where the Saints have won their last 2 games, 4 of their last 5. Tied at 3 as we begin the second quarter. 3rd down and 8 for New Orleans. Saints must get to the 20 for a first down. Breeze, punt fake, now he throws, another drop by Graham. That's his 2nd drop today.
Wow, you don't normally see that. This is a nice job by Jimmy Graham as he's working that in route. He just keeps sliding from window to window. Watch, he's going to slide, check, get all the way to the other side of the field on this in route. He's going to clear that 2nd linebacker right there. Look at all that open space he's got.
All those defensive backs looking at Sproles down there at the right-hand side. No one paying attention. Left them wide open.
Graham having an outstanding season. Only Wes Welker and his teammate Darren Sproles with more receptions coming into this game.
That didn't work.
No. And a late flag is thrown. Eric Weems involved on the Falcons side.
So right now you got to be smart. Your punter just shanked a kick. You're going to get 15 more added on to the end of it. Don't do something to offset it.
Eric Weems and Courtney Roby after the punt sailed out of bounds.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 14 of the receiving team. 15-yard penalty, first down, timeout.
Yeah, Mike Smith is just all over Eric Williams right now because this is not smart football right here.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the Miller Lite Home Draft. Taste greatness. By the Droid Razor. Thin is no longer frail. Only at Verizon. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Great field position for the Falcons despite the penalty. The 15-yarder on Eric Weems, who heard it from his head coach Mike Smith. Only a 29-yard punt. And then you tack on 15. And the Falcons start from their own 44. Matt Ryan 3 for 7. No completions yet to his wide receivers or tight end Tony Gonzalez. There's Roddy White. First catch by a Falcons wide receiver to the Saints 39. 17-yard pass play.
But when you commit to giving the ball to Michael Turner, you're going to force the linebackers to come up. There's your play fake, Tony. Now that second level is a little bit more open.
Yeah, great play fake, too.
You can see all those linebackers turning and running because they committed to stop the run on that play fake.
From the 40 on first down. It's Turner. Turner gains a yard. And we will check in for an update on the Steelers and the Bengals with Kurt.
Well, after spotting Pittsburgh a 14-0 lead, the rookie combination of Andy Dalton and A.J. Green get the Bengals back in it. 36-yard reception, 14-7 right now, although Green did leave with a knee injury. We'll update you on that, Kenny.
All right, thanks, Kurt. 2nd and 10 for the Falcons from the Saints 39. Turner. Runner up the middle, pushing the pile. Down to the 35-yard line. Turner gains 4.
The offensive line do a great job. Michael Turner gets stopped at the line of scrimmage, and they just keep pushing the pile. Winds up with 4 yards.
One of the things that offensive line coaches will chart for their guys are OTGs, and that's when they're on the ground. You know, you got to stay up and keep your feet, and that's one of the great examples of why you need to do that, because you get a guy like Michael Turner in behind you. As long as you're on your feet and you're pushing that pile, I mean, that was an ugly play, and yet it netted almost 5 yards.
Falcons have had the ball for 12 minutes. They opened the game with a 16-play drive, came away with only 3 points. 3rd down and 6. Ryan's pass is caught by Julio Jones, but what a tackle by Tracy Porter. However, Jones did pick up a first down to the Saints 29.
Julio Jones on the outside. He's going to run the underneath route as Harry Douglas clears that area.
Nice job by Julio Jones, knowing where the yard markers are, catching the ball. And they got a good spot, Atlanta, from these officials.
Yeah, going beyond the mark, Tony, exactly, because if you get hit immediately and driven back and you went short on your route, you're not going to get that first down.
Jones with touchdown receptions of 50 and 80 yards and went over the Colts last week. His first catch today. 1st and 10 from the 29. Rodgers, nice cut. First down. The Quiz Rodgers takes it all the way down to the Saints 16-yard line. Rodgers gains 13. That's his longest run of the season.
And he's getting to the point now where he's not just a change of pace back for Michael Turner. He's getting to know this offense. Watch him come out the back door here. And you're going to see his explosive ability right there, then straight north-south up the field. Now he's understanding protections a little bit more. He can really play in any personnel group in this Atlanta offense at this point.
He needs to lower that shoulder, though, and he's going to receive contact like Michael Cox did earlier in the game.
I don't know if he can get any lower. Yeah. Just standing there, he's low enough.
He's going to protect that ball a little bit.
Here's Rodgers again. Goose, I remember we talked to you about Rodgers during the preseason when we did the Falcons down in Jacksonville, and you said as a defensive player, sometimes it's hard to even see where he is lining up in the backfield.
No, that's the most aggravating thing as defensive lineman. You have these big offensive linemen in front of you, and then you get this little guy trying to run behind, and he's hiding back there, and you're looking for him. I mean, it is frustrating because you got to hold your gap and hope he comes around somebody, and you get to arm tackle him or something. But those little guys are the hardest guys to go and get down and find in a backfield of an offense. Aggravating. My blood turned.
Okay, Goose?
I'm all right.
2nd and 9. Ryan to the outside to Snelling. And Snelling is dragged down at the 11-yard line by Michael Jenkins. Gain of 4. So 3rd down and 5 coming up for the Falcons, who are held to a field goal their first trip into the red zone.
And again, as a player going into the week, I mean, you know that New Orleans struggles defensively in the red zone. This is a point of emphasis by your coaches. Didn't get a touchdown their first trip, and here's their second one here on 3rd down.
3 wide receivers set. Falcons must get inside the 7 for a first down. Ryan looking, now he throws. End zone, Jones, the intended receiver, no flags. Jabari Greer on the coverage.
Well, you get exactly what you want. You've got Julio Jones on the backside, one-on-one with Jabari Greer. And we're going to run a post route, a corner. I'm sorry, we're going to run the corner to the flag. That is good coverage by Jabari Greer. Now the ball gets through, and Julio just can't make the catch.
Jabari Greer does a nice job of getting his hand in the pocket, right between the hands, waiting for the ball to come down, but he stays with him.
So here's Bryant, hit from 36 earlier. This a 29-yard attempt. It is straight through, so Matt Bryant has now hit on his last 30 field goal attempts over the last 2 seasons. 6-3 Atlanta. Falcons leading the Saints 6-3. 3 field goals so far. As Matt Bosher gets set to kick off for the Falcons following the 29-yard Matt Bryant field goal. So 2 trips to the red zone for Atlanta, 2 field goals.
Great job by that Saints defense. I mean, that is one of the areas that they are really struggling in, and points are at a premium. And when you cannot hold teams to field goals throughout the year, it's going to come back and get you. Not today, though. That Saints defense doing a nice job in the red zone.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Chrysler, imported from Detroit.
Falcons leading the Saints 6-3. New Orleans will start from their own 20-yard line. Field goal on their opening drive. And then a 3-and-out. Saints fewest 3-and-out series in the entire league this season. 3 plays, only 2 yards on their last drive. Sean Payton back on the sidelines today. Knees to the air on first down, and this time Jimmy Graham hauls it in.
He dropped a couple easy ones today, makes the tough catch there, but you know, coming off that spot right there, again, just a little out route. It's good coverage. We've seen good coverage here today, but Jimmy Graham, you know, you just need that first one. You could see at the end of the catch, you know, how pumped up he was. He knows he's let 2 get away from him early here in this football game.
Graham gains 12. First and 10 from the 32. Breeze to Pierre Thomas. Sean Weatherspoon right there to make the tackle, gain of just 1.
One of the things that I'm impressed with this offense is the patience that Drew Brees has. He has a lot of weapons on the outside, but he checks the ball down. And, you know, the Falcons were very complimentary of Sean Payton and the New Orleans Saints in their play calling. And when we talk to them about it, one of the things that makes them so good is Drew Brees. They know that if they dial up something where they're trying to stretch the field, and that's Coach Carmichael in there who's handled the play calling duties while Sean's been hurt, that, you know, if it's not there, Drew's going to make the right decision and just check it down.
On 2nd and 9, the catch is made for a first down by Marcus Colston out at the 47-yard line, a 14-yard pass play.
These guys have been together for a long time now. When you talk about Drew Brees and Marcus Colston and this receiver group, and you're starting to develop some of that feel that just makes it really, really hard to defend, because it doesn't look the way other teams run it on film. You can see that there's that subtle understanding between wide receiver and quarterback.
Third catch by Colston today. From the 47, Darren Sproles.
And that's something that this Atlanta Falcons defense is well aware of, is when Darren Sproles comes on the field and the speed and the versatility he brings. Exactly, Tony. It could be your traditional set, you know, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and 1 tight end. But when you add Darren Sproles into that personnel group, it completely changes what can happen.
Second down and 9. Thomas replaces Sproles in the backfield. Off the fake to Thomas. Quick release by Brees to Graham. Graham into Falcons territory. And he's tackled by strong safety James Sanders, filling in for the injured William Moore today. A gain of 4 to the Atlanta 48.
I'll tell you one thing I'm seeing. You know, New Orleans Saints, they're moving the ball a little bit. The Falcons are not. I'll tell you what, they're playing hard. They're making them earn every yard that they get, though. They are on top of them when they make the catch or when they make the run. It's exactly what Atlanta wanted to do. They wanted to make them earn everything that they get, and they're doing that.
3rd down and 5. Saints must get to the 43. And that pass intended for Sproles. Curtis Lofton on the coverage.
I thought Curtis Lofton had an opportunity to get that one there.
I tell you what, it's some great hands. It must have hit the turf and skipped into Darren Sproles. But he sure made a good sell on this one.
Hit the turf. So Morstead will punt it away. Eric Weems back deep for the Falcons. End over end. Weems lets it go, and it takes a Saints bounce. Stays out of the end zone, and will be down inside the 15 by Courtney Roby. Matt Ryan and the Falcons with a 6-3 lead here in Atlanta.
That giant run defense better hunker down, Goose, going against those Niners.
Yeah, those Niners can run the ball. That offensive line, I'll tell you what, we got them a few times. It's getting better and better playing together.
Ryan's pass is caught by the tight end Tony Gonzalez, his first reception today. And Gonzalez gains 11 and a Falcons first down.
I thought it was an interesting assessment by Greg Williams watching Tony Gonzalez on film. He said he looks fresher this year, and he wonders if maybe the lockout and not having to go through the OTAs benefited Tony Gonzalez at this stage of his career. He said he hasn't seen him kind of slow down. He thought last year, as he watched the film towards the end of the season, he wasn't as quick, not as good in and out of his breaks as he was early in the season. He said that's not the case this year. He's going to be a handful for us today.
Second all-time, trailing only Jerry Rice in career receptions. Turner gains a yard out to the 26 for the Falcons, who have been inside the red zone twice over their first 3 possessions and came away with a pair of field goals.
Well, that's very efficient offense right there. You take away that second series where they had the 3 and out, but 16 plays, 9 plays against this Saints defense, that's well done. Now the issue is they're getting down to the red zone, an area where New Orleans defense has struggled all season long, and they're not taking advantage of those opportunities.
And they've also been able to keep that high-powered Saints offense off the field, doubling up New Orleans in time of possession so far. Second down and 9, the toss to Rodgers. And a nice tackle, Jolan Dunbar. The first Saint to make contact. Rodgers ruled down before the ball popped out.
He had a nice game last week filling in for Jonathan Vilma, and is starting off with another one today. Jolan Dunbar, that was nice sideline to sideline running right there. That's a quick running back in Jaquiz Rodgers.
Jolan Dunbar, a teammate of Matt Ryan at Boston College. Falcons now facing a 3rd down and 10. Ryan on 3rd down, in trouble, down he goes, back at the 18-yard line. That's Roman Harper, who leads all NFL defensive backs in sacks this season.
Well, he's down here for a reason. He's not even in the box yet. He's going to come from the edge. Here comes 41 walking up. It's just a little check. I'm sure he had Jaquiz Rodgers in coverage, but when he saw that Matt Ryan had been moved off his spot, I'm not going to cover my running back. I'm going to go in and get a sack.
And that's 6.5 sacks this season for Harper. Bosher inside his own 5. Punting for the second time. What a kick. Sproles backpedals to the 27. Sproles up the sideline. Finally knocked out at the 45-yard line. So a 55-yard kick and then an 18-yard return by Sproles. Flag back at the 23-yard line. Well, this December, 2 of the most storied conferences in college football culminate their seasons with epic championship games for the first time in their history. So an ineligible man downfield is the call from Terry McCauley. The Pac-12 championship game Friday, December 2nd. Big Ten championship game Saturday, December 3rd. Both games only on Fox.
Now, shakeups in both conferences yesterday. Oregon Ducks putting it on Stanford.
So the penalty tacked on at the end of the run. An eligible Falcon downfield. Saints only 64 yards of offense. They start from midfield, trailing 6-3. Breeze to a wide open Jimmy Graham. Oh, he hurdles over the defender, Thomas Deku. 29-yard catch and run by Graham.
He opens up that whole middle of the field. This is one of those plays where you've got it tiered. You're going to have somebody deep, and here comes Jimmy Graham in that intermediate level, and then there's a little demonstration of his athletic ability. Maybe not the greatest decision in the world. That's a long way to fall for a big man.
That's a pretty good jump right there, no doubt. He was in the air.
Tremendous athlete. He played basketball for 4 years at the University of Miami, only 1 year on the football team. Play clock at 3. From the 21-yard line. Breeze looks to set up the screen to Sproles, and the pass sails incomplete.
Well, that was a good job disrupting the timing of that screen. Darren Sproles, as he releases, got kind of turned around, got bumped off track a little bit. That threw the timing off, was not ready to get turned around to catch that screen.
They are trying to get him the ball, though, huh, Darryl?
I would.
I mean, he is exciting.
Second down and 10 here. Thomas in the backfield. Off the fake to Thomas. Breeze steps up. Now he throws wide open in the end zone. Jimmy Graham, touchdown.
Obviously a blown coverage on that play. You still got 3 Falcons trying to figure out who was supposed to carry Jimmy Graham into the end zone. There he is, big guy number 80 right here. He just a little wiggling up, and nobody went with him. I don't know if it was Stephen Nicholas who was supposed to carry him, but that's one person you really shouldn't lose track of.
And then he shows those basketball skills during his celebration.
And that goalpost is still off, not really straight right there.
Still shaking.
Pulled down that one side a little bit. They're going to have to straighten that out after the kick.
Extra point by Casey is good. 6th touchdown reception for Graham this season. And he also sets a new franchise record for receptions in one season by a tight end.
He dunks and holds the rim right there. See that goalpost? Surprised that thing stayed up. He looks back because he knows he hung on it a little too long. This side, yeah, that doesn't really look that level right there. You can see this little area right here. He pulled it down right in that section. I don't know. I would say it's probably about 6 inches off.
Our crew engineer, Tony Saragusa, checking things out. Well, Fox Wednesday, don't miss an all-new episode of The X Factor. It's down to only 10 acts, and the competition is fierce with a $5 million recording contract at stake. The final 10 will give it their all as they perform live for your votes. The X Factor, all new, live this Wednesday at 8, 7 Central, only on Fox.
And there they go.
There they go. They got the level. They got the ladder.
We've seen many a dunk over the goalpost from Tony Gonzalez of the Falcons throughout his career. That is a legal celebration. The slam dunk up and over the goalpost.
That'll get changed soon enough. After they see the perfect field goalpost.
The question is the crossbar back on track, Tony?
Not yet. They went up there to try and straighten it out. They waved them off, but I think they're going to have to come back here. There's the decision maker right there. He's got all the tools they need. They got, you know, the ladder in the background back there. They got the level. You know, he's got his assistant right here with the straps in case he's got to pull it down. This crew is on it right there. They're on it. They're just waiting for the word. We'll let you know how that works out.
They've been listening to you, Tony. So the Saints with their first lead of the game. 2.5 remaining second quarter. Matt Ryan of the Falcons start from their own 20-yard line. Inside handoff to Jason Snelling. And Snelling fights his way back to the line of scrimmage. For Drew Brees, his 22nd touchdown pass this season. And he is now all alone in second place. He had been tied with Brett Favre. Now 37 straight games with a touchdown pass. Second all-time to Johnny Unitas. He did it 47 consecutive games. There's Tony Gonzalez out to the 29. As we hit the 2-minute warning in Atlanta. 3rd down and 1 when we return for the Falcons, who now trail by 4. Back in Atlanta, another close game between these longtime division rivals. In fact, the last 3 Saints-Falcons meetings have been decided by exactly 3 points. Saints ahead 10-6. 3rd down and 1 for the Falcons. Empty backfield. Ryan throws, and the pass intended for Jones is broken up by Jabari Greer.
And he was right on that Jabari Greer.
Yeah, you know, it's down and distance is what that play recognition you talked about before, Tony. You've got Julio Jones out wide. You're thinking inside route, slant in that situation. And, you know, sometimes you trust your instincts and you go with Jabari Greer. Nice job.
So Matt Bosher out to punt for the 3rd time. Darren Sproles back deep for the Saints. Their catch was called for, signaled by Sproles, and then he was run into by Eric Weems.
Was he blocked into him, though? Eric Weems is saying that he was blocked into Darren Sproles.
Fair catch interference. Kicking team number 14. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
I don't know. It looked like there was nowhere for Weems to go. I mean, he's right there, blocking. He's trying to get out of the way.
That's the second 15-yard penalty called against Weems today.
And he's going to be back in the principal's office with Mike Smith here when he gets over to the sideline. He's had a tough day. This could be conference number 3 for him on the sidelines with the head coach.
2 penalties, and Mike Smith also talked to him following his decision to let a punt go inside the 10. So this will set up the Saints 1st and 10 from their own 48. A minute 48 remaining in the 2nd quarter. New Orleans with all 3 of their timeouts. On 1st down, the slant is caught by Graham, who gained 6. Coming up, the Visa halftime report with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. Big game in Cincinnati, Steelers and Bengals. And the Cowboys leading the Bills 28-7. We'll have all the scores, highlights, and the Fox Sports ticker on the Visa halftime report. Breeze looking for Graham once again.
Good job by Thomas Deku on that play, the safety, the deep safety, not allowing Jimmy Graham to get into the middle of the field. James Sanders has got him short. He's going to trail him here, but now he's got a little help over the top right there. You can see he's kind of drifting to his right. Here comes Thomas Deku. That's why that ball couldn't be thrown up the numbers.
Now 3rd down and 3. Saints just 1 for 4 on 3rd down today.
Darren Sproles in the backfield.
Sproles slipped. Pass is intended for Lance Moore. There is a flag. Brent Grimes on the coverage, and he will be called for pass interference. The initial signal was against Grimes. Now the officials will get together with referee Terry McCauley.
You don't like to see this. I mean, if it's pass interference, it's pass interference. You don't like to see a huddle on a judgment call.
There's no foul for defensive pass interference. 4th down.
At least they pick it up. Take a look at Brent Grimes. There's number 20, giving him some outside leverage right there. He has a little bit of a hook and pull, you know, in the beginning. So it could have gone either way. The referees get together and decide to pick up the flag. But as Lance Moore broke to the inside, you can see a little hook by Brent Grimes on the waist.
Now the Saints use a timeout as Sean Payton will decide what to do here on 4th down and 3. from the Atlanta 45. Do you leave the offense on the field or punt it away?
Well, you've got 1 minute and 17 seconds left, so plenty of time for Atlanta if you miss this conversion. So, like you said, Tony, these games are all tight fits. They're 3-point games the last 3 times they've played. And, you know, field position points are at a premium. I mean, I know this is a great offense. I mean, there's a lot of people you got to account for and take care of. But, you know, right now, I would punt and make Atlanta go the long haul.
Yeah. Sean Payton's a little upset there with the officials there on the sideline. I'll tell you what. I've seen some of his assistant coaches wondering if they should go for it or not. I agree with you, Darryl. Punt it away. Play a little bit of defense here. Get the clock out and go into halftime up by 4.
And that is exactly what the Saints will do. Morstead punting from his own 45. End over end. Reeves lets it go, and once again, it will take a Saints bounce, stay out of the end zone, and is down by Courtney Roby at the 1.
You can't do that any better. I mean, Thomas Morstead kicks it down. It backs up. It was like a 9-iron into the green. Hits, lands, and then spins to the goal line.
So the Falcons with 1:05 remaining pinned on their own 1-yard line. You see on our Fox box, upper left-hand corner of the screen, Atlanta with all 3 of their timeouts. Trailing the Saints 10-6. Quarterback numbers today. Breeze with a touchdown pass to Jimmy Graham moments ago. First attack from the 1-yard line, and the slam is caught out of the 4 by Julio Jones for a gain of 3. And now the Saints take their second timeout.
Well, that play gives them a little bit of wiggle room there. It's tough playing on that 1-yard line, Darryl.
Yeah, and everything's bottled up in the middle, so I think that's one of the reasons you see him go outside. You've got Julio Jones split out wide, just get the ball in his hands and see if he can create something in that space. But to me, the big difference so far here in the first half has been the improved play of the Saints' red zone defense. I mean, the New Orleans Saints, or the Atlanta Falcons, have moved the ball into the red zone twice, and New Orleans has stood up and forced field goals, which they haven't been doing very often this season.
No, the Saints have allowed a score, either a touchdown or a field goal, every time the opponent has entered the red zone. But a good job today by Red Williams' crew holding the Falcons to those 2 field goals.
And the frustrating thing about it is when you're struggling in a certain aspect of the game and you just can't get your finger on it, you can't correct it, it just keeps happening week after week. They made some strides last week against Tampa Bay, and they picked up right where they left off this week against the Falcons.
On 2nd and 7, here's Turner. And Michael Turner picks up an Atlanta first down out to the 14-yard line. Clock continues to run. Gain of 10. And now a timeout is taken by the Falcons.
Atlanta, 30 seconds.
With 47 seconds on the clock. Visa halftime report is coming up with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. Steelers and the Bengals battling in Cincinnati. Dallas Cowboys look to raise their record to 5-4. They lead the Buffalo Bills 28-7. A lot of news from around the league. Rex Grossman starting at quarterback for the Redskins. Deshaun Jackson deactivated by the Philadelphia Eagles. Sean Payton back on the sidelines here today for the New Orleans Saints.
Mike Mularkey upstairs
in his usual spot. Sean deciding to coach from the field today.
He's got a long way to get in there at halftime. They go all the way on the other side of the field.
There is a flag. Flag back at the 16-yard line. Ronnie White, the intended receiver.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Defense number 33. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Jabari Greer.
Well, they've been playing tight coverage. When you're playing tight coverage, every once in a while, you're going to have some issues with that. working against Roddy White.
Yeah, sort of grabbed his face mask and jerked his head a little bit. That's what they saw.
.41 seconds remaining. Falcons with 2 timeouts. First and 10 from the 19-yard line. Ryan over the middle. The catch is made by Harry Douglas. And Douglas takes it all the way down to the Saints' 35-yard line. And the Falcons take another timeout following the 45-yard catch and run by Douglas.
We talk about big plays, Dow, and how that leads to points. That was a huge play right there for the Atlanta Falcons.
Maybe the forgotten man in this, the explosive components of this offense. We talk about Julio Jones, we talk about Jacquizz Rodgers, but Harry Douglas right here, he just hasn't been able to stay healthy through his career. But he's a burner. You can see right there. Once he makes that catch, look at him get north and south. I thought he was going to split him right there, Tony. I thought he was going all the way.
Yeah, he had some speed.
Little slip by Lee Torrance right there as he pivots out, and that was the break that Harry Douglas needed. Watch 24 right here on the left side of your screen. Just that little slip right there as he's coming across in coverage to help out.
Falcons with 1 timeout remaining. 30 seconds on the clock. From the 35, Ryan takes off, slides down at the 26, a gain of 9. And the Falcons will use their final timeout with 23 seconds remaining.
This is an impressive drive by the Falcons coming off their own goal line. And to have a big drive like this when you're talking 99 yards, you've got to have some big plays, and you can see the percentages go up that allow you to score. And we saw Harry Douglas with that big 45-yard catch and run. So 86% of drives that have a play of that size are going to end up in points.
That is huge. And all you hear all the coaches talk about and players, defensive guys saying, listen, we can't give up the big play, and that's the reason why. You saw the scoring chart right there and how it leads to those points.
Remember, guys, the Falcons started this drive on their own 1. They've gone 4 plays, 73 yards. They have used all 3 of their timeouts. From the 26, they keep it on the ground with Rodgers.
They got to get into the huddle.
Well, they got that first down. Now they just got to get up, kill that clock.
Ryan spikes it with 10 seconds remaining.
I wouldn't have done that, Tony. I think, on the last one, instead of running the play, calling the timeout and then coming back with the run right there, kind of an interesting sequence.
And you saw Julio Jones heading into the Falcons locker room.
You take a shot in the end zone right here, Darryl. I mean, you got 10 seconds. You can get off 2 plays. If you don't have it, you throw it out of bounds. The clock stops. You can come in and kick it. But you're at least going to go take a shot in the end zone.
Yeah, everything has to be on the outside, or you've got to get the ball into the end zone. You can't have anything out in the middle of the field. It's about 6 seconds for a play here, Goose, so they've definitely got the opportunity for one to get it caught and get out of bounds.
From the 23.
But he's holding it now.
And now he will fire it through the end zone. And up into the tunnel.
Yeah, through the end zone, up the tunnel, and it's still rolling.
I would have liked to have seen the Falcons, instead of use the timeout, get everybody up on the line of scrimmage and clock it. Maybe you, instead of having 23 seconds, you go down to 17 or so, but you've still got that timeout in your pocket. So now you can work the middle of the field.
Perhaps he was aiming for Julio Jones, who was heading up that tunnel. So here's Matt Bryant, 2 for 2 today. This will be a 41-yard attempt from the left hash. Bryant from 41. It is no good. Wide to the left, and a penalty marker is thrown. Remember, Bryant had hit 30 in a row prior to that attempt.
Kicking team number 89. By rule, the penalty accepted. Excuse me, the penalty is declined. That is the end of the first half.
And Goose, there it is. Sean Payton getting some help. Driven off the field in the cart. He's headed back to the locker room with his New Orleans Saints, leading the Atlanta Falcons 10-6. team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. Saints lead the Falcons 10-6. Saints will get the ball first. Remember, they lost the coin toss for the 10th consecutive week. New Orleans will receive here in the second half. Darren Sproles back deep. Taken 5 yards deep by Sproles. And he stopped shy of the 20-yard line. Well, the Falcons, Darrell, had the edge in most statistical categories in the first half, but they found themselves trailing by 4.
The big thing is they have the advantage in time of possession. So they're moving the ball down the field. They're keeping New Orleans and Drew Brees off, but they're not taking advantage of the opportunities. When you go up against a defense that's struggling in a certain area, like New Orleans was in the red zone, you want to come out and have success to create more doubt in that area of the field, and they were not able to do that. And 2 drives inside the red zone, 2 field goals. Now you're giving the Saints defense confidence in that situation.
Saints start from the 18-yard line. This is only the 5th running play. Saints ran the ball only 4 times the entire first half.
Yeah, you heard Howie at halftime talk about they must like the matchup somewhere in the secondary because they threw 18 times, ran 4 times. They talk about getting to a balanced attack, but really I think for New Orleans, that's at the end of the game. They want to make sure that they didn't slide one way too far throughout the entire game. So maybe we see a little bit more run here in the second half.
Here Thomas gained 3 on first down, now 2nd and 7. Jeffrey Henderson in motion. Off the fake to Thomas. Brees steps up. Now he fires downfield. What an adjustment by Meacham. No signal yet from the officials, and now they signal catch at the Falcons 44, a 36-yard completion. Brees to Meacham.
Here again is that great field between quarterback and receiver. I tell you what, from that angle, it sure looks like he gets his hands underneath and keeps that football from hitting the turf.
He did.
The catch.
Yeah, he did.
What a great job by Robert Meacham.
And now the challenge flag has been thrown by Mike Smith, although all 3 of us think that it was a completion.
I think he wants it back. I tripped and I went to regain my balance.
The pass is incomplete. Timeout.
Well, the Falcons are challenging the play. Terry McCauley will take a look at it. Looks good to the 3 of us.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the Ford F-150, the only truck available with EcoBoost. By Visa, more fans go with Visa. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It is a catch. The receiver controlled the football prior to hitting the ground. Atlanta's charged with his first team timeout.
Darrell, I think Mike Smith wanted that one back. You know, he doesn't see it up on the Jumbotron till late. Thinks it might be a hit the ball, but I think he's asking the official right there. You know, I accidentally dropped this red flag. Do you think I can just pick this up and we can just continue?
So Mike reluctantly challenging the last play, loses the challenge. His first challenge today, loses the timeout. So a 36-yard completion. Longest play of the day for the Saints on offense. And here's Thomas up the middle. Thomas picks up another New Orleans first down to the Falcons 28. He gained 16.
Caught Atlanta with a blitz coming in from the offensive right side of the ball off the edge, and they get Pierre Thomas up right inside between the tackles.
That's the best run of the day for the Saints. The longest pass and the longest run are back-to-back plays. On the 28, it's Thomas again. Close to another Saints first down.
I tell you right now, they're just coming out, and now they're starting to tear them up with the running game. Yeah, and again, you know, talking to Drew Brees, he said, listen, we know that we're at our best when we're balanced, but that doesn't necessarily mean at halftime we're going to be 16 passes and 12 runs. We look at how our play selection was at the end of the game, and that's Brian Van Gorder's biggest challenge here with this Falcons defense is, can he match the ebb and flow of the game as New Orleans tries to switch back and forth between pass and run.
John Abraham does a nice job of getting into the backfield. Penetration will stop that run every time. Exactly what happens on that play.
So the Saints have already run as many times in the second half as they did the entire first half. Now facing a 3rd down and 5 from the 23.
Now Atlanta had a couple breakdowns. I talked to Mike Smith going into halftime. He said, we have to definitely go and find out where Jimmy Graham is. We cannot have the breakdowns we had and let them guys get some big plays on us.
He's right there, Goose.
Yep.
Instead, Breeze hits down and spoils ball hit by Dante Robinson.
And they broke on that ball. Woo.
The big thing is, what are you going to do with Darren Sproles when you move him outside? Who is going to cover him? And there's the respect that Atlanta has for him. That's Dante Robinson, your starting corner, who's out there with Darren Sproles. They're not going to bring a safety down and kick Dante somewhere else in the formation to match up. They have that much respect for Darren Sproles.
Here's John Casey, hit from 52 earlier. This a 40-yard attempt from the left hash. And Casey's kick is no good. Wide to the left. Bryant missed wide left at the end of the first half. And now Casey missing wide to the left. The New Orleans lead remains 4. Julio Jones and Jason Snelling both suffered hamstring injuries in the first half, listed as questionable. Snelling has his helmet, Jones does not.
No, not a good sign for Falcon fans. Julio Jones standing on the sideline without that helmet. Sounds like that hamstring flared up again.
Larry Douglas in for Julio Jones. Following the missed field goal by Casey, the handoff to Turner, and he takes it out to the 32-yard line, gain of 2 before he's wrapped up by Jonathan Casillas. Goose?
Well, I had an opportunity to talk to Mike Smith going into halftime. One thing he said he stressed during the halftime talk to his team was the red zone, we have to get open. I asked Mike if they were doing anything different on defense, if New Orleans was showing him something different. He says, no, we've seen everything all week in the film preparation. Our guys just have to go and get open. And that's what they're going to try and do here in the second half.
And it looks like they'll have to try and do it, Goose, without Julio Jones. Second down and 8 from the 32. It's Douglas on a quick out from Ryan, and Tracy Porter came up to make the hit.
And he had an injury last week on a kind of a similar play. You can see him shaking it off a little bit. Got hurt on that second play of the game last week. Just an aggressive play. Roddy White's got to do a better job. You got to put yourself in a position to have success pre-snap. He's got Tracy Porter on his inside to a quick screen. You got to make sure that you get yourself aligned and give yourself an opportunity to make that block.
Loss of 2 on the play, now 3rd down and 10. Play clock at 2. Falcons must get to the 40. Ryan over the middle, complete for a first down to Douglas. Malcolm Jenkins made the tackle, but Douglas gains 12, and the Falcons move the chains.
Well, let's not forget about Harry Douglas. He's the guy from the first half that had the big play that gave the Falcons an opportunity for that field goal. So, yeah, they don't have Julio Jones, but Harry Douglas has become a big play threat this season for the Falcons as well.
3 catches today, 56 yards. From the 42 on first down, it's Turner. Michael Turner gains 2 yards out to the 44. Cameron Jordan in on the tackle.
And Atlanta's offensive line really not getting a lot of push on that Saints defensive line. More position stuff, but a lot different than we saw in the first half. Those holes just aren't there right now, Darryl.
Second down and 8. And he was along the sidelines, takes it all the way down to the 30-yard line as he gains 24.
You must have got him upset, Goose, because they opened up a nice hole on this one right here. Mike Cox does a great job going in, getting Jonathan Casillas pinned inside. Malcolm Jenkins has an opportunity to stop this for about an 8 to 10-yard game, but just takes a bad angle and a bad tackle.
We talk about turnovers and running to the ball. That's exactly what they were doing. Got that ball out of bounds.
It looked like the Saints get a favorable spot. It looked like the ball rolled out of bounds at the 32. Mark back at the 35. Here's Turner. Turner inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. He gains 6 midway through the third quarter with the Saints leading the Falcons by 4.
You lose a guy like Ovi Mihaly, and he's been your fullback in this Falcons offense for a number of years now, and it's a big loss. And you wonder what's going to happen. Mike Cox has done a great job this afternoon, in my opinion, of stepping in. He's got great sense of where the run play is designed to go, and he's using great leverage with his blocks, getting the guys pinned inside, outside. He's giving Michael Turner some great running lanes.
Turner with 86 yards on 17 carries. Averaging over 5 per carry. Off the play fake. Ryan moving to his right. Can't find anyone downfield, and then he throws it away.
That's a bad scramble drill by the Atlanta Falcons right there. When your wide receivers are downfield and you see your quarterback moving, you've got to stop and try and get into his line of vision. Harry Douglas ends up on the opposite side of the field. Now, Matt Ryan has been flushed the other direction. You can't stay on that side of the field. Tony Gonzalez is in blocking. He's drifting that way, but Matt's going the other way. And then Roddy White was kind of exactly where Tony Gonzalez was, but deeper down the field. Nobody worked to the opposite side of the field to help Matt Ryan out of it.
3rd down and 4. Harry Douglas looked like he had the first down, then he curled back.
This is a good job by the officials because it was his intent to come back. It wasn't like he was driven back inside that first down marker. Harry Douglas was trying to make something happen. It was his momentum that brought the ball back inside that first down marker, not defensive push momentum.
Not a good decision at all. He had the first down, and just like Darryl said, came back behind it. Watch him right here. He crosses the yellow line. Right there, he's got the first down, and then his own momentum takes him back behind. That's a great job by the officials, and with the spot.
So now, Goose, the Falcons going forward on 4th and 1. Two tight ends, Eric Weems in motion. Turner, first down. He needed 1, he gained 5.
Good push by the left side of the Falcons defensive line.
Nice job of pushing everybody to the right-hand side. Michael Turner does a nice job of just bouncing it out a little bit to a wide-open hole and gain of 4. Not easy when a guy like Michael Turner down.
No.
Leaning forward, shoulders down low. You're not going to make him go backwards.
Jason Snelling now in the backfield from the 21-yard line off the fake to Snelling. Ryan does a good job keeping out of the sack. And Snelling.
Oh, great effort.
Wow. Touchdown, Jason Snelling.
We've talked about New Orleans' struggles inside the red zone. Here's one of the reasons why they're not playing well. That's tackling. It's one of the many issues that's caused them to be a poor red zone defense. This is a nice job by Matt Ryan. Look at that little feel right there. Dunk it down. Now watch this effort. There's 5 guys.
5,
6, 7, 8, 9. 9.
He went through the whole defense.
And technically, the Saints have still not allowed a red zone touchdown today. That's coming from the 21-yard line. The extra point from Bryant. What an effort by Snelling. Falcons lead by 3. Jason Snelling scores his first touchdown of the season, but the big play, Michael Turner picking up the first down on 4th and 1.
A nice drive by Atlanta in that series right there. Everybody pitching in. Harry Douglas, a couple of catches. One little mistake there on that 3rd down, but doesn't come back to hurt him.
Darren Sproles on the return. And Sproles is stopped shy of the 20 by Antone Smith. Jason Snelling into the end zone. Falcons by 3.
Some touchdowns are play design, some touchdowns are just great individual effort. Jason Snelling, watch how many tackles he breaks here. He comes into his first group of guys right here. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now he's going to continue downfield. Jabari Greer and Malcolm Jenkins coming again, but we got 2 new ones. He's going to go through 7 Saints defenders.
That's effort, baby. That's effort right there.
Falcons lead 13-10. Saints start from their 18-yard line. Breeze with loads of time, and the pass is caught for a first down by Colston out to the 33, a 15-yard pass play.
Atlanta is doing exactly what they want to do, though. They're forcing New Orleans to go the long, hard way. They're not giving up any big plays. They're keeping everything in front of them. They've tackled very well today. And Darren Sproles, on his kickoff return, he took a helmet to the outside of the thigh. You can see the thigh pad he's wearing. That's on the front. But he got a helmet on that outer side of the thigh, and he's been limping ever since.
Yeah, they've been working him on the sideline, trying to stretch that thigh out for a while. See what happens if he gets back in there.
Mark Ingram gains 2 out to the 35-yard line. Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL Now. Sproles keeping loose on the sideline. 2nd down and 8. Ingram in the backfield with the fullback Collins. Breeze on 2nd down. That's Graham, who dropped 2 earlier and then caught 5 passes, including a touchdown. Can't handle that one.
Well, with Darren Sproles out of the game, no one of your key guys is going to be Jimmy Graham. That's Sean Witherspoon making a good play, getting that arm up, anticipating where the ball was going to be placed.
Third down and 8. Saints must get to the 43 for a first down, and they do. It's Colston again into Falcons territory. The 46-yard line. Colston gains 19.
That looks like Marcus Colston is in the same spot when he's wide open, right over the middle. For some reason, I have no clue why they can't go and cover this guy. You see him right there in the slot. He just goes and sits down right behind the backers. Breeze does a great job of getting the ball right to him.
15 completions for Breeze Goose, 5 to Graham, and now 5 to Colston. Movement prior to the snap, and the play is blown dead.
Neutral zone infraction, defense number 55. 5-yard penalty, first down.
John Abraham.
And one of the things that Brian Van Gorder talked to us about, the defensive coordinator for the Falcons, was mixing up his zone coverages. He's got a match zone that looks a little bit like a cover 2 over the top, and then man underneath, he's got his blitz zone, and then he's got one called vision zone. It's not vision on Drew Brees, it's the guys understanding where they have to get to in their spot drops, dropping to an area in that zone. But again, you're challenged because of the field that Drew Brees and these wide receivers have.
Here's Sproles back on the field, and Darren Sproles takes it to the 46-yard line, close to the Saints' first down.
We need to come up with a pound-for-pound club, Tony. We got a couple guys playing in the NFL that pound-for-pound are some of the toughest guys in this league, and Darren Sproles is one of them.
I don't want to hear no parents saying, well, I want my son to play football, but he's too small. And when you look at Darren Sproles, I mean, that guy's got some heart. Let me tell you something right now.
That's a heck of a job by the Falcons defense. 4 touches, 7 yards.
You saw Jacquizz Rodgers on the other side, both players 5'6". Breeze steps up and dumps it off to Ingram. Curtis Lofton makes the tackle at the 33-yard line, gain of just 3. Second and 7 coming up for the Saints, who started the season 4-1. Gone 2-2 over their last 4 games. First place in the NFC South at 6-3. Sean Payton, their head coach, returning to the field today.
Falls down the backfield.
Off the fake to Sproles. Breeze firing downfield for Meacham. And Robert Meacham makes the catch for a Saints touchdown.
And there's the one thing that Atlanta's worried about the whole time. Robert Meacham on the bottom. Dante Robinson on the outside. Thomas Deku decides to turn and run a little bit too late. That's safety against wide receiver. And a defense that wanted to make them go the long, hard way to score all their points just gave up another big play. We had Jimmy Graham with a blown assignment on a big touchdown catch. And now Robert Meacham on a heck of a throw by Drew Brees.
Great job of him getting his feet down also, Dow.
33 yards goes from Breeze to Meacham, who scored touchdowns in each of the first 3 games this season. Had gone 6 games without reaching the end zone. Meacham has given the Saints the lead as Casey connects on the extra point. 17-13 New Orleans. Seven plays, 82 yards. Breeze 5 for 6 on the drive, including the 33-yard touchdown pass to Robert Meacham for Breeze, his second touchdown throw today. The Saints have regained the lead. Armstead's kickoff sails through the back of the end zone. Falcons will start from the 20-yard line, trailing by 4. Coming up after this one, America's Game of the Week. Many of you will see the Giants and 49ers from Candlestick. Bears hosted the Lions at Soldier Field. America's Game of the Week. Game 2 of our Fox doubleheader coming up following the Falcons and the Saints.
You think if the Bears go back-to-back victories over the Eagles and then victories over the Lions that they'll start getting some respect nationally?
Starting to open some eyes.
Just like last year. No, let me give them any chance in the end of the NFC Championship game.
Bears have won 3 in a row. Record of 5-3. Now Ryan off the play fake, wide open for a gain of 19. Roddy White as we head to Los Angeles for a game break. Here's Kurt.
Well, at one point, the Bengals were down 14-0. But look at this. Andy Dalton hooking up with Jason Gresham. And just like that, it's all even at 17. They have climbed back to tie the Steelers. Getting loose and goose.
How about those Cincinnati Bengals? Record of 6-2 with the rookie quarterback Andy Dalton.
They're the #1 seed in the AFC if the playoffs started last week.
Incredible. What a division race that shaping up to be. Ravens 6-2, Bengals 6-2, Steelers 6-3. Final minute, third quarter here in Atlanta. From the 40, here's Michael Turner. Roland Dunbar moved to the middle, replacing the injured Jonathan Vilma. Made the tackle as time winds down in this third quarter. Falcons up to the line quickly. Second down and 9. Caught by Gonzalez. There is a flag. Cody Gonzalez picks up a first down to the Saints 48, gain of 11.
Pass interference, offense number 84. 10-yard penalty, second down.
Roddy White's second penalty today.
This is something that Mike Smith talked to his team about during their bye week too. Last season, the Atlanta Falcons were the least penalized team in the NFL. And at this stage, right now, compared to last season, they're 15 penalties ahead. And something they've got to get corrected. They've had a couple of big ones today that have really hurt them.
3 quarters in the books here in Atlanta. Saints leading by 4. We start the fourth quarter here in Atlanta with the Saints leading the Falcons by 4.
And Roddy White has been working the officials since we've been on break the whole time, and you have to agree that, yeah, there's really nothing here for an offensive pass interference.
I mean, he puts his hands on him. I guess if, you know, they want to call patty cake pass interference, I guess it is, but that's ridiculous.
And now 2nd and 19, Goose following the penalty on White. And Ryan's pass out of the hands of White, and then picked off by Scott Shanley. So White called for the penalty. Final play of the 3rd quarter. He's the intended receiver. Unable to make the catch. Shanley with his 3rd career pick.
Roddy White working the inside as he breaks in. It's a little bit behind him, but hits him in the hands. Got to make that catch right into the hands of Scott Shanley. And if that throw was altered, it was because Will Smith was bearing down on Matt Ryan. And as you pointed out, Tony, getting that quarterback off that spot, impacting that throw, all of a sudden it's off target. You get a tip ball with a chance for an interception.
First turnover of this game. Breeze on 1st and 10 from the 26, complete. The tight end David Thomas, Stephen Nicholas right there to make the tackle, loss of 3.
Will Smith, number 91, working against Will Svitek, 74, beats him on the inside move. And that ball was a little bit behind Roddy White. You wonder if that throw was impacted by that pressure, and it's just like you talked about at the top, Goose.
Yeah, exactly. Ball thrown behind, tip ball, and defense is capitalizing on it.
2nd down and 13. Breeze to Colston. And Marcus Colston picks up the Saints' 1st down at the 15.
When you play against New Orleans, they have certain concepts, and one of the concepts they're going to do is they're going to tier your routes. There goes Jimmy Graham. He's going deep. Here comes Marcus Colston across the field into that intermediate level, and then they had Pierre Thomas down low. So as Drew Brees drops back to pass and he looks out to his left, he's got deep, middle, and shallow, all with a player from his team in those positions.
That's 20 completions for Breeze, extending his NFL record, 30 consecutive games with at least 20 completions. And now Ingram gains a yard down to the 14-yard line. So the Saints scored a touchdown on their last possession, and then the first turnover of this game, the interception by Scott Shanley. Saints are in the red zone. Sproles in the backfield. And now Sproles split out to the left, empty backfield on 2nd down. Breeze, 2 pump fakes. Penalty marker, Lance Moore makes the catch. Tackled at the 9.
Offense number 74. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So the left tackle, Dramon Bushrod.
They've done a nice job this afternoon, because when you have to go against Ray Edwards and Jonathan Abraham, and you don't get your numbers called very often, that's a good day by this offensive line. Remember last week, they kept Tampa Bay without a sack. They're following that up with another nice performance this week, those 5 guys up front.
Breeze has not been sacked today.
Hasn't been moved much out of the pocket either. They're going to find a way to get some pressure right here.
2nd down and 20. Breeze steps up, fires, end zone. And through the end zone, Devery Henderson, the intended receiver. There's Pete Carmichael to the right of Sean Payton with the play chart.
Not a bad start for his play calling that first time, huh? 62 points they put up?
Yeah.
Against Indianapolis, and Sean Payton gave Pete Carmichael Jr. a game ball after that one.
There's Sean Payton right there. He's supposed to be back off that line of scrimmage. Somebody should make sure that they got him protected. He's getting a little close to the action with that leg.
Hard to stay away. 3rd down and 20. The screen was deflected. Wow. Sproles made the catch. Ray Edwards got a piece of the pass. Loss of 5 on the play.
Great job by Edwards going and identifying, getting his hands up a little piece. and the whole team running. We talk about running to the ball. Something that could have been really bad for this Falcons defense turns into something really good. They move them back 5 more yards, make it tougher for the field goal.
They have tackled really well this afternoon.
Yes, they have.
So here's Casey, who hit from 52 and then missed a 40-yard attempt. This will be from 48 yards out from the left hash.
It's gone.
And Casey's kick this time is good. A 48-yard field goal by Casey, extending the Saints lead to 7.
This game is sponsored by Pizza Hut. Right now, get any pizza for just $10 only at your Pizza Hut. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
Back in Atlanta, Saints leading the Falcons by 7. Early fourth quarter. Saints capitalizing following the Scott Shanley interception.
Not capitalizing like they wanted to, though, Kenny.
Came away with only 3.
Only 3 points, still a 1-possession game here for the Atlanta Falcons.
Kickoff by Morstead through the end zone. We head to Los Angeles and Kurt Menefee.
Also a 1-possession game between the Bengals and the Steelers, except Pittsburgh has a 7-point lead. It's Rashard Mendenhall, his second touchdown of the day, 24-17, starting the fourth quarter. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Thanks, Kurt. Good one in Cincinnati. 7-point game here. Remember, the last 3 games between the Falcons and the Saints have been decided by 3 points. All 3 won by the visiting team. Sean Payton, Saints on the road, have the lead today. Payton 4-1 here at the Georgia Dome as head coach of the Saints. First and 10 from the 20. The toss for Rodgers. And Rodgers able to gain 9 out to the 29-yard line. And now some late flags.
Tack on another 15.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 56. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, when you have an aggressive defense, one thing you want to do is get them moving. And you get the little fake pitch out, and you bring them back. And there's the end of the play right there.
Wow.
Jolon Dunbar, who's had a nice game.
That was a nice sell.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he had to do a whole lot of selling there, Tony.
No, he was just caught off balance. I'll tell you what, Jacquizz Rodgers did a nice job of, looked like he was going to run to his right and came back to his left, saw nobody there, and made a nice little play at it.
Dunbar goes shoving down the right guard, Joe Hawley, so 15 yards tacked on for the 9-yard run. From the 44, the end around to Harry Douglas. And Douglas takes it out to the 48, chased down by Roman Harper after a gain of 3.
I'll tell you what, Darryl, Roman Harper is all over the field. He has made some unbelievable plays today, outside, downfield, in the passing game, sack. Well, what a great game he's having today.
He's gone to the last 2 Pro Bowls. Chased down Harry Douglas on that last play, now second down and 7. Ryan off his back foot, fires downfield, looking for Roddy White. No flags, Jabari Greer on the coverage.
Almost a connection here, and this ball is let go real early. Roddy White breaks to the outside, and watch how close this one is, just a little bit off to his right, a little bit late getting that head around.
If they were going to call that one on Roddy earlier, they should have called that one right there on Greer. His hand on him. Really surprised that they called that one on Roddy White earlier.
And the next play, ball deflected off his hands for the interception. 3rd down and 7. Falcons must get to the Saints 46 for a first down. Quick throw, and it bounces away from Douglas.
Trying to make something happen before you got the ball secure. You know you've got one-on-one coverage. You saw the blitz go. Harry Douglas has got breakaway speed. Just got to make that catch first.
Tell you what, Greg Williams is bringing the house, trying to force, a bad throw by Matt Ryan. That's exactly, he gets a good throw off, just can't get it in.
First punt of the second half on either side. Foster from the 35. Fair catch called for by Sproles. Back at the 12. Saints football, they lead the Falcons by 7. Saints head coach Sean Payton back on the field today. Spent the last 3 weeks up in the coach's box after suffering the injuries 4 Sundays ago down in Tampa. Made the decision to return to the field, and this team leads by 7. Just under 11 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. Saints start from the 12-yard line. As Breeze connects with Lance Moore for a Saints first down out at the 40-yard line, a 28-yard pass play.
There's one of those examples where it really doesn't matter what you do as a defense. They're just going to complete this ball. I mean, it can't be thrown any better. It's actually covered well. You've got, Dante Robinson underneath. You got safety help coming over the top, and Drew Brees just drops it right in.
And with that completion, Drew Brees sets a new NFL record, most passing yards over the first 10 games of the season. He has 263 today. From the 40. Again looking for Lance Moore. Brees took a hit from Lawrence Sidbury. And there is a flag downfield at the 45-yard line.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, defense number 23. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Dante Robinson. Falcon penalty today. They committed only one in their game last week against the Colts. From the 45 on first down, Brees moving to his right. He throws, and the catch is made by Jimmy Graham for a gain of 5 as we check in on the Redskins and the Dolphins with Kurt.
Well, I guess you could say that Reggie Bush is becoming the Darren Sproles of the Dolphins. A little end around, he takes it 18 yards for the score, his second of the day, and the Dolphins looking for their second straight win. Up 20-9 over the Redskins late in the fourth quarter, Kenny Moosengood.
So the former New Orleans Saint with a pair of touchdowns for the Miami Dolphins. His ex-team, the Saints, leading this game by 7. And the man who replaced Reggie Bush in New Orleans, Darren Sproles, lined up in the backfield on 2nd and 5. Brees to the outside. Devery Henderson, the intended receiver, good coverage by Brent Grimes.
It was funny talking with Drew Brees about Darren Sproles. They worked out together in the offseason out in San Diego, and Drew was recruiting the whole time. And when the doors opened up for business and they stepped in, he went right away to Sean Payton and said, listen, we need to get this guy worked out with him all summer long. He's fantastic. We got the inside scoop. And there were several other people out there working out with Darren Sproles trying to sell their coach on it too, but Drew Brees and Sean Payton won that derby.
And it has certainly paid off.
He's been a great addition.
3rd down and 5, empty backfield. Brees steps up on 3rd down, he fires, and it's Colston again. How many big catches has Colston made for first downs today for the Saints? This time he picks up 18.
In the same spot also, Darryl.
Yeah, and when we talked to Brent Grimes, one of the things that he said about Marcus Colston is he felt that it was the one wide receiver that Drew Brees trusted the most. And when you have that trust, look at the throws. I mean, that's unbelievable. I mean, Sean Witherspoon is underneath. That was just beyond his fingertips. But the trust that has been established between Drew and Marcus, that's the reason they have so much success on critical downs.
Second 100-yard day for Colston this season. Here's Ingram. Mark Ingram gains a couple down to the 30-yard line.
And it doesn't take a whole lot to get you motivated for divisional games. But, last week Sean Payton designated the Tampa Bay game as the bad game, and they'll do that from time to time during the season. is one of the ones where they want to be physical and come in. This week, it was all about the month of November. And what Sean Payton and this team has done since their Super Bowl run in 2009 is impressive. I mean, you need to be playing your best football at the end of the season. New Orleans, since 2009, is undefeated in the month of November. This is when they feel it's critical for them to get on stride and start playing their best football of the year.
Second down and 8. Reed's complete to Graham. At the 26-yard line, we are under 8 minutes remaining. Fourth quarter, 7th catch for Graham, and Saints now facing a 3rd down and 4. Saints 3 for 9 today on 3rd down. They must get to the 22, and that pass was behind the Taylor receiver Graham. So the Saints will send out the field goal unit.
Just a little out of sync today with Jimmy Graham. He's just going to run the flat, but he doesn't even have his head turned around expecting that football. Drew Brees was over towards him as soon as that play was done. And now he's over trying to figure out what's going on, and he's supposed to be out on the field goal team.
So here's John Casey playing in his 295th NFL game. He's 2 for 3 today. He's hit 2 long ones from 52 and 48. This is a 44-yard attempt. And Casey's kick is good, just inside the right upright, extending the Saints lead to 10. This is the biggest lead for either team this afternoon.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
Falcons now trailing by 10. There's Eric Weems. Falcons no return yards in this game. 5 kickoffs from Morstead, all touchbacks. He leads the league in touchbacks, and no yards on punt returns either.
Get their first chance here.
And Weems is stopped shy of the 20.
That looked like a hit from the longest yard right there, Darryl. Holy moly, that's a club.
Will Herring. New Orleans Saints went 2-1 with Sean Payton up in the coach's booth. Showing back on the field today. Saints lead by 10. 7:08 remaining. Falcons start from their own 19-yard line. Empty backfield for Atlanta. Ryan over the middle. The catch is made for a first down by Tony Gonzalez. Gain of 17.
Looks like this New Orleans crew is giving them a little bit of cushion right there. Now they're going to go to a little bit of pressure, looks like. Safety's coming up. 5 guys on the line of scrimmage.
Hand off Michael Turner. Turner gains 2 out to the 39. Remember, we have not seen Julio Jones since the first half. Suffered a hamstring injury. He's on the sidelines without his helmet. The Falcons without one of their weapons on offense, trailing this game by 10.
Harry Douglas has done a nice job stepping in for him. Had the big play at the end of the first half. A couple of catches here in the second.
Douglas, the Falcons' leading receiver in today's game, with 4 for 59 yards. Down to 6 minutes on the clock. Ryan to Eric Weems. And Weems picks up a first down out to the 48-yard line.
Well, that clock is ticking down. I know they got a first down and they're moving, but they need 10 points on the board. They got to go and get a little sense of urgency here. Start getting the plays out a little faster. They're just going to run out of time.
Late handoff to Turner. Owen Harper again coming up to make the tackle, gain of just 2.
He has really played well this afternoon. You know, a couple of guys, 41 down here on the bottom of your screen coming in, and watch the tackle. Michael Turner in the hole, gets down, takes his legs away. He's a small center of gravity, big, thick guy. Roman Harper, nice job getting down, working around his legs. You've seen a lot of good tackles today, Tony.
Yes, he has.
Harper with 13 tackles today, as well as a sack. Ryan to Weems. And this time it's Jolan Dunbar who makes the tackle, a gain of 5. So Falcons now facing a 3rd down and 3 with under 5 minutes remaining. Quiz Rogers comes sprinting out onto the field. And Ryan forced to use a timeout.
Yeah, I saw Michael Turner come off the field, and by personnel, I think you're expecting Michael Turner to be there. I think that's what Matt Ryan is upset about.
That's the second Atlanta timeout. Saints leading the Falcons by 10 this December. 2 of the most storied conferences in college football culminate their seasons with 2 epic championship games for the first time in their history, and Fox Sports will bring them to you on back-to-back nights. The Pac-12 championship game Friday, December 2nd, and the Big Ten championship game Saturday, December 3rd. Both games only on Fox. Greg Williams' defense looking to stop the Falcons here. 3rd down and 3 from the 45. Ryan rolling to his right. Now fires downfield looking for Douglas. And the pass falls incomplete.
Little throwback play here. You're going to move the pocket out to the right. Harry Douglas on the line of scrimmage right here. He's going to be the only guy out to that side of the field. You've got Roddy White on a short route there, going for all the marbles on this one.
So that's like they weren't on the same page right there.
Falcons Goose facing a 4th down and 3 with 4.5 remaining. Falcons must get to the 42. And they do. Catch is made by Roddy White for an Atlanta 1st down. A huge play, gain of 6 on the pass from Ryan to White.
That was a long throw by Matt Ryan there on that 4th down.
Second big 4th down conversion by the Falcons today. Roddy White again. On the far side at the Saints 20, a 19-yard connection.
Looked like a double move at the top. You get Jabari Greer to bite on it, then you get back to the outside and drop it over the top.
Nice job by Roddy White keeping control of that ball. Getting his body underneath it. Feet in.
So the Falcons keeping their hopes alive. 1st and 10 from the Saints 20. Ryan fires. Gonzalez, touchdown.
A lot of composure by that group. On that 4th down, you take the shot on the 3rd and 3, and a tremendous amount of confidence in Mike Mularkey with his group to be able to come out and convert on that 4th down, and then just 2 quick plays and you're in the end zone.
Both Falcon touchdowns today have come after they converted on 4th down. For Tony Gonzalez, his 6th touchdown of the season, 94th of his Hall of Fame career. Bryant with the extra point. Once again, it's a 3-point game.
When you get into the red zone, you've got to find out where number 88 is. And not a whole lot to make him work coming off the ball. Kind of a free release into the secondary, which is kind of surprising. Matt Ryan threads it in between linebacker and safety. But I'm surprised that they allowed Tony Gonzalez to have such a clean release off the line of scrimmage.
So with 4:13 remaining, it's a 3-point game. Saints leading 23-20. Saints have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Falcons have only one. They lost their first due to a challenge, an unsuccessful challenge earlier in this half, and then forced to use another timeout during that last drive. What is it about these division rivals in three-point games?
Yeah, exactly. And I just think that, this rivalry continues to grow as both of these franchises experience the success that they've had over the last several seasons. And that's what makes rivalries great, when there's a lot at stake every time you play. And it seems like the last couple of years that the Falcons and the Saints have played, there's always something big on the line within the division. Expecting an onside kick right here, the Saints with 4:13. I mean, you have to come up and play it safe, but I expect Atlanta to kick deep. Nope.
Onside kick, Lance Moore recovers.
Let me tell you what, there is some respect that this Falcons organization has for the New Orleans Saints offense. They felt it was best for them to try and get the onside kick here than to kick it deep and try and hold Drew Brees and his group and force a punt. I don't agree with this decision. I would kick it deep at 4:13.
I'm with you on that, Darryl. I think you boot it away, and your defense has done a pretty good job of going 3 and outs early in this game. And I think their chances. They wish they had that timeout they had earlier in the game with that challenge. But see what happens here.
Brees hitting Thomas out of the backfield, and he will be wrapped up by Curtis Lofton at the line of scrimmage. So no gain for Pierre Thomas as the clock continues to run, under 4 minutes remaining. Falcons with only the one timeout left, trailing by 3.
And now you'll see the New Orleans style of the 4-minute offense, and this is just going to be Drew Brees milking this play clock down as long as he can. Probably not a whole lot of running plays, but really safe passing plays, so this clock doesn't stop. Something similar to what you saw on that last time. Just a little check down swing.
And you saw Sean Payton talking to the official. Saints are going to let this clock run and then use a timeout. So as the play clock hits 1, clock has run down to 3:20. So Brees to the sidelines, and we will check in with Kurt Menefee. Kurt?
Well, we just want to remind you that America's Game of the Week has a little something for everyone. Whether you like running the ball, Frank Gore will try to do that against the Giants, or passing it, as Calvin Johnson and the Lions will try to do at Chicago. You will flip for America's Game of the Week, which comes your way when you guys are done there in Atlanta, Kenny Moose and Goose.
How about that flip by DJ Moore?
It was impressive with all the equipment on and everything.
I could do that.
Let's see.
In 6th grade, I did it one time. I'm only kidding. I'll tell you.
Those are 2 great games coming up, though, after this one, Goose.
Wow.
I mean, both of them.
I can't wait to watch them.
Giants, Niners, Bears, Lions, and then the OT. Wrap up of all of today's action. 2nd down and 11 for the Saints following the timeout. Brees steps up and throws, and this time Colston unable to make the catch. Curtis Lofton on the coverage, so now the clock stops, and the Saints facing 3rd down and 11.
And that's the risk you run when you play this style in the 4-minute offense. When you're a pass-heavy team, that threat of the incompletion and that clock stopping is always there. That's why I thought they'd be more conservative in their play calling if they were going to throw the ball, that it was going to be assured of a catch.
3rd down and 11. Saints must get to the 34 for a 1st down. Brees steps up, he throws. What a catch by Colston. There is a flag as well. Marcus Colston with another tremendous catch. Kelvin Hayden on the coverage, and the flag is against
holding defense
Atlanta.
number 26. Penalties decline. 1st down.
Well, they did everything they possibly could do, Tony. Marcus Colston releasing right into the middle of the field there. That feel, look at the ball placement by Drew Brees. That's just phenomenal. He's moved off his spot, sliding to his left, throwing back to his right, and puts it in the perfect spot.
And they had their opportunity. Sean Weatherspoon came right up the middle, just missed Drew Brees. He had an opportunity for a sack there.
And that's the first time we've ever seen a 1st down signal with a crutch by a head coach. with that completion. Brees over 300 yards as he hands it off to Ingram. And for Drew Brees, guys, his 51st game over 300. It ties Dan Fouts for 5th on the all-time list.
Drew Brees jumping in that little pile right there, down, trying to push.
It's nothing better when your quarterback jumps in to take care of you. Now, right now, he's trying to get Croy Bierman off of it. Why? He's going to stay into this one, too. Trying to get him off marker. Look at him roll over, give him a little bit. Stands above him, gives him some smack.
Then he gets out of there. Smart guy right there.
Yeah. All right, Carl, Jari, get in there. Take care of that guy.
Now the Falcons take their final timeout with 2:58 remaining. Sean Payton with the field judge, Terry Brown.
So you can't do that from the booth.
No.
You can't hag. You can't argue with the officials. You can't sell your points.
Big part of the game, haggling. Get on those officials, try to get some calls your way.
Falcons now out of timeouts. 2:58 on the clock. There's Atlanta owner Arthur Blank. His team trailing by 3. Second down and 6 for New Orleans. These teams will meet again on Monday night, the day after Christmas, in New Orleans. Think that game will mean something?
Oh, wow. They'll give him an easy one.
Encroachment, defense number 95. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Well, I bet you that Mike Smith felt good about his team in the penalty situation last week. As you mentioned, Kenny, only 1 penalty against Indianapolis last week, but penalties have been huge for them today, and none bigger than that one right there. That is
that's the 9th Atlanta penalty.
Drew Brees knew how important that was, that offsides.
Second down and 1. He's bottled up. Ray Edwards with the tackle. We welcome those of you who have been watching the Dolphins and the Redskins. Kenny Albert, Darrell Johnston, Tony Siragusa here in Atlanta. There's Ray Edwards making the tackle of Mark Ingram. So the New Orleans Saints, who lead by 3, now facing a 3rd down and 5. As the clock continues to run, 2:25 remaining. Falcons are out of timeouts.
Well, that was a great job by Ray Edwards getting small, because it was Carl Nix that was pulling, trying to kick him out. As he came upfield and around, he got real small, dipped his shoulder, got a good hit on that running back.
And now the Saints let the play clock run down to 1, and New Orleans will use their second timeout. Sean Payton down on the field today for the first time. He's been up in the coach's booth for the last 3 weeks. This game was 10-6 New Orleans at the half. Matt Ryan to Jason Snelling, giving Atlanta the 3-point lead.
Man, just a great individual effort. He ran through 7 New Orleans Saint defenders on that play. And then it's just a great throw by Drew Brees. He puts that where only Robert Meacham can catch it. And then Matt Ryan follows that one up with a great throw to Tony Gonzalez. Tight coverage, fits it in. But the big decision was after the Tony Gonzalez touchdown, the Atlanta Falcons elected to onside kick. New Orleans recovered it, and they've moved the ball down, got their first down, and now here on this critical 3rd down, going for their second.
Third down and 5, 3 wide receiver set. Brees a pump fake on 3rd down. And then he attempts a shovel pass as he was pressured. And now the Saints will send out the field goal unit. So a huge job by the Atlanta defense as they keep the Saints out of the end zone.
It looks like he might have been down right there.
He might have been down before he shoveled that pass forward.
You know what, though? I don't challenge it. I let him kick it and save the 7 seconds.
Atlanta can't challenge. They're out of timeouts.
They're out of timeouts. Well, that works in their favor right now. Because if not, this clock is going to run down to the 2-minute. You don't want him down, Coach. Take the incomplete and stop the clock.
So it's a 45-yard attempt. John Casey from the left hash. There's a penalty marker. Casey's kick is good.
Holding, kicking team number 80. 2-yard penalty, 4th down.
That's on Jimmy Graham.
I don't know the last time I've seen a holding penalty on a field goal PAT, and we've seen 2 of them today. Jimmy Graham all the way down here on the bottom of your screen. Now that's a heck of a sell by Brent Grimes right there.
Great sell.
Not very big in stature, but he can't get turned that hard with a one-handed grab by Jimmy Graham. Here's a better angle of it right here. See if he hooks him a little bit. I don't know about that. I played the wing, and if that's holding, boy, did I hold a bunch in my career.
So now, instead of attempting a 54-yard field goal, the Saints will punt it away. Because if they miss the field goal, it would set up the Falcons in tremendous field position from the spot of the kick. Instead, it's Morstead punting. And Eric Weems takes it at the 6-yard line. So the Falcons trailing by 3. These guys have been going at it all day long, Weems and Roby. Time for Matt Ryan and the Falcons offense to try and drive down the field. Will Matt Bryant have the opportunity to try and tie this game? We welcome those of you who have just joined us. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa in Atlanta. Falcons with no timeouts, 1:55 remaining. Start from their own 6-yard line, trailing the New Orleans Saints by 3. Matt Ryan on first down, complete to Harry Douglas, who's had a huge day. And Douglas takes it out to the 29-yard line, a 23-yard catch and run.
There's a blown coverage by the Saints right there. Harry Douglas wide open in the middle of the field.
Falcons without Julio Jones suffered a hamstring injury in the first half. 1st and 10 from the 29. Again, it's Douglas across midfield to the Saints 47.
I mean, it looks almost identical to the 45-yard play that Harry Douglas called at the end of the first half to give Atlanta an opportunity for a field goal.
So 23 and 32 yards to Douglas on the first 2 plays of this drive, and now penalty flags, and the play is blown dead. False start against the Falcons.
False start. Offense number 84. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, Harry Douglas just jumping right in with 2 big plays with Julio Jones out with a hamstring. He saw opportunity, Darryl, and took advantage, huh?
It's unbelievable for the Saints defense to give up 55 yards in 2 plays.
1st and 15 following the penalty. Ryan looking for Douglas again. A diving attempt for the interception by Tracy Porter. So the clock stops, 1:08 remaining. The last 3 games between these teams have been decided by 3 points, with the road team winning all 3. And that is the scenario here today, with Sean Payton back on the sidelines. Coached the last 3 games from the coach's booth after suffering the injuries a month ago during a game in Tampa. 2nd down and 15. Ryan to Douglas again. Harry Douglas with his 3rd huge catch of this drive, and the Falcons are now in field goal range for Matt Bryant. 20-yard pass play. From the 33, Bryant to the outside, Tony Gonzalez. Gain of 4 to the New Orleans 29.
I cannot believe that New Orleans is making it look this easy for this Falcons team. I had them all the way backed up, no timeouts. They've brought pressure, and they have been exposed in man-to-man coverage in this situation.
And now the Saints will use their final timeout with Lee Torrance shaken up. So both teams out of timeouts. There's Matt Bryant. His season long is a 50-yard field goal. His career long is 62. Right now the line of scrimmage is the 29, which would translate to about a 46-yard attempt.
And he has missed earlier this afternoon.
He hit from 36, hit from 29, and then he missed from 41, ending a streak of 30 consecutive field goals over the last 2 seasons. That's the last catch made by Tony Gonzalez. He took it down to the 29-yard line. Up in the replay booth, the officials making sure that Gonzalez had possession and got both feet down in bounds. He did. Now second down and 6. Ryan looking for Gonzalez again, and it deflects off his hands.
Don't expect to see that. He's one of your crunch time performers. Tony Gonzalez wins on the route. It's a nice throw by Matt Ryan. Just off the fingertips. That one's going to put him down inside the 15. Greg Williams, boy, his defense is on their heels right now. Mike Mularkey, the offensive coordinator, and Matt Ryan just moving right down this field.
Third down and 6, 41 seconds remaining in regulation.
Here's the guy that's been just giving him fits on this drive. Harry Douglas in the slot to the top.
Ryan on third down and a flag. Roddy White, the intended receiver, Tracy Porter climbed up and over his back.
Pass interference, defense number 22, automatic first down.
And that's going to be the call coming through the back. And Tracy Porter could have stepped around, number 22 on the right side of your screen. If he could step around, it doesn't look like he came through the back. Let's check this out. Oh yeah, he makes contact coming through there. He needed to slide a little bit more to his left so he doesn't have any of that contact through the back, but he has the opportunity to move in front and knock that ball down. Just can't come through the back.
From the 20 on first down, Ryan fires, looking for Gonzalez.
Tony, what did Matt Ryan tell us about Greg Williams and his philosophy? Sometimes he can become a stubborn blitzer, and I think that's what he's become right now.
I'll tell you what, he's been coming. The last 5 plays, he's brought, 5, 6 guys and not giving Matt Ryan a lot of time in that pocket to go and find his receivers downfield. But
I don't know about that. I think he's left some guys on an island in these situations in one-on-one when they had a long way to go to get this game tied up. Now he's thinking about maybe losing in regulation.
Well, he's only bringing 4 right now, or 3.
Ryan intended for Gonzalez, and it was nearly picked off by Roman Harper.
Wow, and he's had a fantastic game this afternoon. He's got an opportunity to end at number 41, Roman Harper dropping back. That one just beat him up, Tony.
Yeah, it did. I'll tell you what, he's played an unbelievable game today. All over the field, in the backfield, coverage. Roman Harper is the player of this game.
Now third down and 10. 28 seconds remaining. Eric Weems. Weems picks up a first down, but the Falcons out of timeouts. They hurry up to the line. And Ryan will spike it with 13 seconds remaining.
That's a nice job by the Falcons offense getting together, killing that clock. They've got a couple of shots into the end zone right now.
Remember, Bryant, will he have an opportunity, or will the Falcons be able to score a touchdown?
And this Saints defense coming into this game last in the NFL in red zone defense.
Second and goal from the 9. Ryan to the end zone. That pass intended for Roddy White. No flags. Jabari Greer on the coverage.
Great coverage by Jabari Greer. Looks like Mike Smith's going to take another shot at the end zone. Roddy White coming in on a little slant play. He got an opportunity for that ball, dude.
I have never seen as aggressive as a 2-minute defense as I've seen these Saints play right now.
They are coming. Looks like they're going to come again.
One final shot for the end zone. Third down. Ryan looking. Can't find anyone and then throws it out of the end zone. So here comes Matt Bryant and the Falcons field goal unit. An opportunity to tie this game and send it into overtime. Bryant today has hit from 36 and 29. Was wide left on his last attempt from 41 yards out. This will be a 27-yard attempt from the right hash. Bryant from 27. And we are headed to overtime in Atlanta.
I don't think any of us are surprised. These have been tight games. The last couple of meetings, the last three-point victories. One of those in overtime down in New Orleans. I tell you, it looked like New Orleans had this game in hand. 95 yards away, 155, no timeouts, but they can't cover Harry Douglas. The first 2 snaps, he's got 55 yards, and the Falcons are in business. And again, Goose, you know, it was such an aggressive style of 2-minute defense.
They get the pass interference call. They add to that 55 yards. Next thing you know, they're in field goal range. Matt Bryant right through the uprights. Now we're sitting in overtime.
Falcon tails the NFL
Think they'll go 0 for 11 in coin tosses, Kenny?
Tails. It's heads. You want the ball? Atlanta won the toss. Will receive. Timeout.
Well, you're right, Darryl. Falcons win their second toss today. Saints are 0 for 11 on coin tosses this season. So Atlanta will get the ball first. Both quarterbacks over 300 yards. Overtime next. For those of you in the home markets of the late games, in a moment you will be leaving this game and we will be switching you to the start of your game. The Atlanta Falcons will get the ball first in overtime. The last overtime game for each of these clubs against one another. Last September in New Orleans, a game won by the Falcons 27-24. Weems will take it out. Falcons will start from the 20. Falcons drove 94 yards on their last possession of the fourth quarter with no timeouts and tied this game.
I tell you, I'd be tempted to come out and jump right back into that 2-minute offense. As easy as New Orleans made it.
Looks like New Orleans struggled with making the calls, and looks like they are again. Look at this. These guys aren't even set down here. They don't know who's coming on and who's going off.
Play clock at 5. From the 20 on first down. Ryan to the outside, and the catch is made by Harry Douglas for a gain of 8 for Douglas's 8th catch today.
He was the key guy on that drive where they're able to get down the field to get that tying field goal. I'd move him back into the slot. Have Eric Weems go outside. That's where he did all his damage, was working out of the slot. He's at the top of the screen.
Julio Jones out with a hamstring, and Harry Douglas gets an opportunity to come in, and he is taking advantage of that opportunity. By far, huh, Darryl?
Yeah. Career day for Harry Douglas. Second down and 2. Ryan looking for Douglas again.
Well, at the start of the season, we had him in preseason against Jacksonville. We had him in the opener against Chicago, and one of the things that all the players talked to us about was, yeah, everybody wants to talk about Julio and Jacquizz Rodgers, but Harry Douglas is another one of our big play guys. He's just been hurt. He had a great college career, but just hasn't been able to stay healthy. He has this year. Now we're seeing the player that Atlanta drafted a couple years ago.
Empty backfield for the Falcons. Third down and 2. Low snap. Ryan's pass was deflected. Incomplete. Intended for Douglas. Jonathan Casillas got a piece of it. So the Falcons go 3 and out, and they will punt it away.
Bad thing is you got a low snap on a quick play. Matt Ryan's got to go down and dig that out. That ball has to come out quick normally, and even quicker now because Jonathan Casillas is coming in. I don't know. I just think you got Michael Turner, critical snap with less than 2 yards to go.
I agree. Run the ball. Try and get that first down. You do not want the ball in the hands of that guy right there.
How about the guy they have to punt to right now? I don't know if I want the ball going to Darren Sproles either.
Foster punting from his own 18. And a fair catch called for by Sproles back at the 27. So here comes Drew Brees and the Saints offense. Week 3 last season, Saints had a chance to win on the final play of regulation. Garrett Hartley missed a 29-yard attempt. And then in overtime, Matt Bryant connecting on the game winner. Falcons won it in New Orleans, 27-24. And then the Saints won their second meeting here in Atlanta by 3. So now Brees and the Saints go to work on offense. Hand off to Pierre Thomas. And Thomas is tackled by Kelvin Hayden. Gain of just 1.
One of the things that I've been impressed with, and this goes for both sides, for both of the teams today, is the tackling. The tackling has been outstanding, and there's a number of explosive athletes on this field today in both of the defenses. Brian Van Gorder's group for the Atlanta Falcons and Greg Williams' group for the New Orleans Saints have done a nice job of wrapping up when they tackle. Not a lot of yards after contact this afternoon.
Second down and 9 off the fake to Thomas. Brees hits Thomas out of the backfield. And he's tackled at the 34-yard line, so the Saints now facing a 3rd down and 3.
And that's been one of the big game plans for Atlanta. They weren't going to let anything get beyond them. They were going to force New Orleans to earn every yard they got. And to do that, you have to tackle well. And this group of defenders have been up to the challenge this afternoon.
Well, if you're going to look for a guy, Marcus Colston is the go-to guy in this situation that they've gone through all game.
Right here he is, goes down at the bottom.
All by himself, trips to the other side.
You got help on the inside from Thomas Deku.
Brees on 3rd and 3, swings it out to Sproles, and he is stopped short.
I'll tell you what, this Atlanta Falcons defense has been running through the ball, Darryl. And like you've said, sure tackling, gang tackling. We've seen a clinic here today from both of these defenses.
It was a nice play design. It's the guy you talk about. Bring Colston in, get it out to the outside quick, but the defense for the Atlanta Falcons does a great job recognizing the design of the play that they're trying to get Sproles out on the perimeter.
Thomas Morstead punting from his own 25-yard line. Wow. A booming kick, but he put a little too much on it. Bounces into the end zone. 64-yard punt, net of 44. So now the second opportunity in overtime for Matt Ryan and the Falcons offense. Following the conclusion of this game, America's Game of the Week. Many of you will see the Giants and the 49ers who have won their last 6. Others, the Bears and the Lions from Chicago. America's Game of the Week up next. Well, here's Matt Ryan in his 4th season. Already has 15 game-winning or game-tying drives in the 4th quarter and overtime. Drew Brees can only sit and watch as the Falcons go to work from their own 20-yard line. Off the fake to Turner. Ryan going deep for Douglas. And a diving attempt at the interception by Tracy Porter.
That's the style that you can add to this offense. You're a run-first team. You're using Michael Turner. Build in your big shots down the field off the play action like that.
Looked like Matt Ryan underthrew that ball.
And he had Harry Douglas going to the middle.
Harry Douglas had him beat.
Second and 10. Ryan to Gonzalez. Hard man to bring down. Tony Gonzalez. Game's 9. Scott Shanley finally made the tackle.
He does a great job of understanding coverages too, because this is the 2nd or 3rd time today on an out route. He just kind of he shuts it down. He knows Jabari Greer is coming in from the outside. And to take away that opportunity for the big hit and maybe a football on the ground at a critical point in overtime, at this end of the field, he's able to kind of tap his feet and get down. Just that veteran savvy.
Career high 351 yards in the air for Ryan. Now 3rd down and 1. We are in overtime, tied at 23. Ryan's pass is caught by the fullback Cox as he stretches, attempting to pick up the first down, and it looked like he got it.
Nice job by the fullback, Mike Cox. Knowing that he's going out of bounds, extends his arm with the ball and gets that first down. This is what fullbacks do, Darryl.
Well, he made it hard on himself because he didn't get the right depth on his release. They're going to check right now to see if he had possession.
Terry McCauley will take a look. Jolan Dunbar on the tackle. Referee Terry McCauley.
Surprised again, Darryl, that they didn't go with Michael Turner on that 3rd and 1.
Well, I like the play action call. I would have liked to have seen Mike Cox get, beyond the marker before he made his break to the flat. So just in case you're tackled immediately like that by Jolan Dunbar, that you don't have to show actually how athletic the position is in the NFL today for the fullbacks to get that first down. It's a smart play, heady play by a guy who's getting an opportunity because of the injury to Ogi Mahaley. And I have been impressed with him today, Tony. He's been very good on his blocking.
Yes.
He has a good feel going through to the 2nd level. He doesn't get tied up on guys who are not going to be part of the play, bypasses certain people to get to the next level. And he's had a couple of catches today.
Both head coaches awaiting the decision from Terry McCauley. Cox needed to reach the 30. Remember, the punt bounced into the end zone for a touchback. Falcons started at the 20, so Cox needs to get to the 30. And it was ruled a first down on the field, so there must be indisputable visual evidence in order for Terry McCauley to change the call after taking a look at the replays.
The question is, when his knee hits the ground, where is the ball at that point? You see his right knee or go down. The ball looks like it's over the 30-yard line. At least the tip of it looks like it is when that knee hits.
The other thing, Goose, too, maybe it looked like he, as he was stretching, the ball came loose. Did they want to actually go back and see if during the process of that catch, did he have possession of the football, or was he kind of bobbling it the whole time? So you kind of get loose right there at the end as it's sliding out of his hand. Maybe they're going back to take a look. Hey, during the process of the catch, did Mike Cox have that control the whole way?
The runner lost control of the football in the field of play, and it was a forward fumble out of bounds. The ball will be placed just short of the 30-yard line, and it'll be 4th down.
So because Cox did not have control, he will not be awarded the first down.
You can see at the end of the run right here as he stretches it, it comes out of his hand right there. And again, it goes back to the original point. On that play, when you're running that flat pass, that play action, make sure that you get enough yardage for the first down. So on a catch and an immediate tackle, you're still going to have the yards necessary for the first down. Mike Cox cut his flat route just a little short.
So Bosher will punt for the 2nd time in overtime.
First, charge timeout, Atlanta. 30-second timeout.
Looks like Mike Smith is thinking about maybe going for this. It's only in a couple inches, Darryl. Quarterback sneak. You got a guy, Michael Turner, hard runner.
All right, well, this would be his second decision based on the efficiency of Drew Brees and this Saints offense. They elected to onside kick with over 4 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. And again, there's some respect for New Orleans' offense. Hey, if we kick it deep, I don't know that we're going to be able to stop this team. They might go right down the field, either take the clock out or kick a field goal and make it.
Here comes the beef.
Wow.
This is a huge decision.
The beef is coming in.
If the Falcons don't make it, they're pretty much conceding the game because you give the Saints the ball inside the 30. So 4th and inches in overtime for the Atlanta Falcons. the 29¾ yard line, and now
New Orleans taking a
Williams
timeout.
signaling timeout.
First charge timeout, New Orleans, 30-second timeout.
So the chess match continues. First the Falcons timeout. Mike Smith sends the offense out, and now the Saints call a timeout.
Well, the tough thing as a defender, you don't play the run 100%, because if you do, and they sneak a guy like Roddy White or Tony Gonzalez out there and lob it out to him, it could really turn into a catastrophe.
But what about the other thing, Tony? As a defensive tackle in this situation, it's 4th and inches. If you stuff them, you've just basically won the game. If you're offsides, you know, they got first down and 5 yards. I mean, are you heavy on your hands, or are you playing like normally where you don't want to be drawn offside?
No, you're not playing normally as a defensive tackle inside. You're going as low as possible. You're trying to take out those offensive linemen's legs. Hopefully your linebackers, you see the two right behind here, come over the top and make the play.
Fourth and inches, and Michael Turner is stopped shy on the first down.
That's exactly what you want to do in short yardage. You saw all them defensive linemen take that low path, push that offensive line straight back, nowhere for Michael Turner to run. Take a look at it. High formation, Mike Cox leading them. Look at that surge by this defensive line right here. That's the line of scrimmage. Look how far back they've taken him, and there's nowhere for Michael Turner to run this ball.
That was unbelievable.
Wow.
Pad level by New Orleans up front. You said, Tony, when Michael Turner got the ball, I mean, he made his first cut 4 yards deep in the backfield.
So the Saints will take over on offense from the Falcons 29.
That's one of those decisions as a coach. If it works, everybody thinks you're one of the most aggressive coaches in the league, and when it doesn't work, he's going to be second guessed all day today and all day tomorrow.
On first down, it's Ingram. And Mark Ingram takes it down to the 26-yard line, a gain of 3.
Now, as an offense, I mean, you have got to squeeze the football. I mean, it's really the only option that Atlanta has is to force that turnover right here. So
No reason to go to the air.
you never know with this group.
Yeah, but you can't say never, because that's what everybody's thinking. But that man right there, you never know what he's going to do.
One of the
And
things
Mike
that makes
Smith
him a
knows it.
great play caller is he is unorthodox at times. He'll give
Very
you exactly
unpredictable.
what you're not thinking.
Second down and 7. Breeze throws, and the catch is made by Jed Collins, the fullback. His 6th reception of the season. And Collins picks up the Saints first down, a gain of 12.
Like we said, Dow, you never know what they're going to do. Feed the fullback out to the flat, get a first down.
But a great safe play call, Tony. You've got your big guys out there, Marcus Colston. You're worried about everybody else. Is anybody really worried about what Jed Collins is going to do in that situation? He sneaks into the flat for a big catch and run.
Saints send in number 76, Pat McQuiston, as an extra blocker. First and 10 from the Falcons 14. Again, it's Ingram. And Ingram able to fight his way through to the 8.
Yeah, just line up and kick now. No middle of the field. Kick it from the hash marks on the right side.
Looks like they heard you, Darryl.
So here comes John Casey, who's hit from 52, 48, and 44 yards out today. The oldest player in the NFL, just turned 42. This will be a 26-yard attempt. He has not missed from inside 30 since 1997. For the win in overtime. Casey's kick is good, and the New Orleans Saints raise their record to 7-3. Falcons drop to 5-4. For Darryl Johnston and Tony Siragusa, Kenny Albert saying so long. America's Game of the Week, Game 2 of our Fox doubleheader, coming up next.